To recap, so back when I first started the studio in 1979, I got hired right out of high school, got a D minus in my high school art, got A plus in algebra, A plus in piece in police sciences. And my dream and goal was to be just like Columbo, just to smoke a big stinky cigar and annoy all the celebrities with annoying repetitive questions over and over again. And then someone said, "Why don't you get a job at Disney?" Because like I was just trying to draw like Robin Hood, and Secret Squirrel, and like they're never gonna hire me. I don't know anything about animation, so like, man. So I just did five pencil drawings. Three were my Fox character, and two Cylon warriors from Battlestar Galactica. A simple five-line sensing. I just graduated, did not say from college or whatever. And just graduated, blah 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 blah. And the last line said, if you don't if you're not interested, don't bother about sending the drawings back. You can just throw them away. Week later, I get a call from Ed Hansen. It's answered like, yes, we would like to hire you. And I thought it was a gag for my mom's work, like, yeah, right, buddy. What's your address? And he fired up the address, like, oh, this is real. So I had to get a work permit because I was underage. I didn't have to pay the exorbitant amount of money to get in the animation union, and I got a job at Disney. It was a complete fluke, and I would never be hired as like that ever again because like the portfolios that go in there are astonishing. The Fox character was the Fox character that I decided to put on the YouTube channel. It's kind of a in joke, like poking at some of the people that were producers of the studio that hated the way that I drew and stuff. But so my first furry encounter was in 1980. One worked in the studios there. He well, this was before they were even called furry. So like it's kind of unfair to call anyone a furry when that title didn't really get coined until I think 85 by Mark Morlino, I think. So he came in and he was like a really nice guy. He really liked foxes, and he would compliment me all the time that he thought that the way I was drawing foxes was really fox-like or whatever. And then we became really good friends. Then he started introducing me to all of his friends, which are kind of like the mainstream furries of today, like Steve Martin, who at that time Steve really didn't start drawing hardcore porn. He was like this came from like a Catholic parents and all that kind of stuff. John Colley asked him to draw like the first dirty picture, and I guess because coming from a Catholic background, he was kind of repressed and all that kind of stuff. So we did it, and he made money. All the first like, oh, you can make money drawing porn, and so that's when they started drawing it. Then all the fetishes started to come in, and so that by the time of the mid to late '80s, more fetishes, more fetishes. So I started making friends with these guys before they were really called furries and stuff. So, but I was still friend with them. Um, I would help out a whole bunch of them, like people that were in financial hardship. I've been given like tens of thousands of dollars to like people, tons of costumes. Show them how to make costumes because no one was building costumes. Like I was at Disney, I had the access to go to Disneyland and talk to the guys who built them. In my first costume, which I still got in the garage, it's the only one that I kept because it was the first one. The other ones I had to get rid of because of the toxic glues, the same ones that Jim Henson's used back in the Muppet days that killed a whole bunch of their staff, which was the neoprene. Um, and so all those I had to uh, eventually dispose of it in a toxic dump. But I'm starting to rebuild now, but with hot glues and all that. So where was I going with the story? Oh yeah, um, so I got to meet more and more and more. The convention started. I would go to them, and I was kind of like a wallflower there. Like I didn't buy anything, I didn't sell anything. I just knew a few people, um, and then hatred started to boil up against me, like in around the late '80s. Um, there's one person, the guy I told you about, that his parents were really rich from Japan, bought him a whole movie studio, and he even paid for a movie set to be put inside this soundstage that looks like the hallway shaft of Alien. Amazing set. He never filmed anything there. He just used it and paid other employees from Disney to build him costumes so he go win prizes at the furry cons. That's kind of like Michael Jordan competing against like uh, kindergarten kids, and proud that he won a prize for a costume he never built. He may did like a little bit of airbrushing, but he didn't do anything like that. So a lot of the rumors came from him that I'm this like horrible person. It's probably jealousy because a Disney guy is here and all this kind of stuff. And then more and more stories started popping up. Um, Then really weird stuff happened. Like I told you about the one guy that for years, when I was living across street from Disney, would drive all the way from um, Garden Grove, like about a 50-mile drive, park and watch me come and go to work from his car. And I didn't hear about that one for like about till 10 years later. Um, some of the guys, like this one guy who had like some comic at the time about like college and wolves or something. I did him like a birthday drawing. I drew his character, gave it to him. 3 weeks later, I'm called to Disney. His management like, "Did you draw this?" And I looked at the picture. Of course, my blood is boiling. Like, well, everything but the dick. I'm like, okay, that's kind of what we thought. I'm like, can I see the envelope? And I look at the envelope, and it's the address from the charming person that I gave this drawing to. Then I've had like other blackmail attempts from various loving furries. Um, uh, it just goes on and on and on. And at the very end, by around 1998, 1999, this one guy who started a lot of the rumors about me, I asked him, "Can't you talk to these people and tell them this is not going on?" Because like I just get people hating me or just loathing me. Like people I used to call friends now are hating me. People I've helped out for like thousands of dollars or give like I gave these some of these people like 10 costumes, like old costumes and stuff. Hated me. It's like, how can you hate a Disney guy that's trying to be your friend? Like, I've never said anything bad about you, never just made fun of you. And he said, "Why don't you just enjoy being the bad guy?" And I just had it. Like, I'm gonna enjoy being the bad guy. That's why I did furryfans.com in the comic and all that. And the ones that knew me were just foaming at the mouth I did this. Furries that did not know me thought it was the most hilarious thing because it was like a Mad Magazine envisionment of what a furrycon was like. I didn't really show like the real meat of what goes on. It's like Mad Magazine. And then I just said adios to that fandom. I just cut the cable with a whole bunch of friends, just stop talking to him because there's no point. Um, let's see. Like I can go into like some of the stuff that's not very family friendly of like things that I've heard about. I don't know if you want to hear about like things I told you about, like what goes on some of the ranches and stuff. And um, Toby Bluth's experience at a furry con when I stopped going to furry cons about like 2003 or something like that. I went to the last one because like I was making one person I thought was a nice guy. I made him his first costume of his character based on from Second Life. And as soon as I handed the costume to him, he screwed me over. He just lolled at me for like 6 months. And it's like, and even his girlfriend made fun of me. And his girlfriend got the real awakening of her life because me and my friend were because she was yearning to get a job in animation. And back then I still had a little bit of pull when we all got let go from the studios. And so everyone I knew went to like Cartoon Network, to Sony, and everyone. But we were working to get her a green card to bring her into Cartoon Network. And then when that happened, it's like, forget that B. And it's like, and then 6 months later, she like apologized. "Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize that I was going like, well, thank you for apologizing, but I wish you the best in life." And I was even get a job for that one creep that I made the costume for. I had him lined up to get a job at Sony in their animation division. When they just screwed me over, like so, like I will never do something like that for a furry ever again. F them all. I was just so it's like it's like rinse and repeat. Like so, I've learned one thing in life the ones that are dying to get into your life, they're obsessed. Those are the ones you want to hold back with a stick because it's not natural. And two lines will come into play like never meet your heroes and familiarity will breed contempt. And that happens every time in Second Life, everywhere. People will piss themselves that they are is meeting me. Then after it takes about 6 months a year, then they start getting kind of irritated because I don't meet the envisionment that they had in their head about me. Or some furries said they hated me because the gifts stopped coming, where I used to give like hundreds of drawings out to people. Sometimes things are a little bit on the risque side, and I rinse and repeat. I tell them, just keep this to yourself. Do not give it to a friend, nothing. And of course, it slips out. And thank God that they weren't like really vile drawing. So like, because like by the third person that you say, okay, just don't tell anyone. By the third person, they don't care, and it goes out onto the internet. So yeah, so like I got a whole bunch of people that are still trying to get in my life, and I'm really nice to them in an email. Yeah, yeah, well, I can't tell you where Spider Bridge is because you can easily backtrack where my house is, and I don't want to have to be calling the police because someone is coming to my door that I don't know, or stalking outside the house, or or anything. Let's see. Was there like a specific story that you wanted me to talk about that you would like me to recap again, like Toby Bluth at the con, like those type of stories? I have to kind of figure out how to keep it G-rated.
I mean, that was a
Or
fun
like,
one. The whole bit, like all of that about talking about the cons, that's where it got cut at.
oh, okay, well,
So
like,
I was just starting there and kind of moving forward.
okay, so like the Toby Bluth at the con, like, so like Toby Bluth, who's the brother of Don Bluth, very talented guy, is a nice guy. He was asked to be guest at a furry con, and he asked me and my friend about like, well, you, because like Toby will do erotica art for a magazine called Advocate, the Advocate. It's a word I can't say. The Advocate, and I said, like, you may not want to go to a furry con. Like, oh, no, like, okay. It's like just doing a little jumping ahead. Like after the con, he blamed me for allowing him to go. But anyways, and so he goes to con, but he wanted us to come up and meet him for lunch. Like, like, okay, like we won't stay more than a day because like most furries don't care for me. Don't have any real friends. I don't buy anything. I don't sell. Like I was seeing the cons. I just don't do that con thing anymore. So we went up and we met him at 12 o'clock for lunch, and he's having a glass of wine. I don't know what you're talking about. All these guys are like fun, and they're running around and eating the costumes, and like, of course, I also asked him, "How did your panel go?" He had like 30 people in the panel. Next to his room was how to sell porn the responsible way. That was a packed house. And like, if that didn't like wake up Toby, like something is wrong. Like here you got a Disney Bluth guy who's like a master of art that was helping to people to do background paintings. He was completely ignored. So to learn how to sell porn the responsible way is like, and it's like, okay, it's now time to go through the third and final thing. And we're going to the art show. Like, well, I've already seen the art show. Like, hey, you haven't seen the art show yet, have you? Like, what do you mean? Like, there's a curtain you have to walk through where all the dirty stuff, and that's the bigger of the thing. And so he's a person. He's been gay his entire life. He does stuff for the Advocate, very erotic stuff. Like very, it's like the paintings he do look like classic art, like Michelangelo or something like that. So he just out loud like still got his wine like, this is just what the hell is this crap? This is not romantic or sensual. This is just vulgar. And he's going through my like, oh my god, like, and there's people all around there, and the guest of honor is just slandering all this stuff. So by the end of the show, he goes on the show like a left wing is sliver of live and let live. He comes like a right winger, like let's drop a nuclear bomb on this damn place, and then he gets angry at me for like allowing him to go. Like I told you, yes, you've seen everything, but we're talking about the furry con now. But that was kind of funny. It was his red pill his moment. Like so, like when you tell me that Uncle Coggy is trying to clean all this stuff up, great for him. I hope he can sweep all this stuff out of there. Like, I don't care if people do dirty drawings. Like, I do dirty drawings occasionally, once in a blue moon myself. I just don't display them or show them because every person that picks up a pencil, every single person, Christian or whatever, at some point in your life when you're in high school, you're gonna draw a you know what. It's and if you have emotion towards a cartoon character, that's part of our hardwired biology. You're humanizing, anthropomorphizing a character to make it look like something like simple designs and all that kind of stuff. Oh, here's something that I don't know if we talked on. So like all my life, I wonder why is it that I've no interest with human beings at all? But you put like a pair of panties on Bugs Bunny, I'm like, ooh. And like I've always been troubled by this. Like did it happen when I went through like puberty or something? But then I was troubled by then like, well, why do people that wear diapers think that's sexual? Because that's a regression. And then just a few years ago, I saw two documentaries. One was from Sam Harris, who's a neural surgeon, and this other neurosurgeon that were talking a little bit. Their talk was about something else, but one part of it talked about fetishes and how they form. And I was like, oh my, that's why. So basically, when you're 1 to 3 is when sexuality is forming, all those neurons. Because when you're first born, you're like a meatloaf where you have no control of your body. If you're trying to feed yourself, that spoon of Gerber is going to your ear. Meow, meow. So in those few years, sexuality is forming. So if as a child, a baby, if you're like playing in the mud and you're having a grand old time at the point when those neurons are forming, that has a chance to become your trigger. So someone defecating in their diapers, if they're having fun by something else like a balloon, and that now becomes their trigger because I know two people in real life and they're mortified, like you know, I just want to kill myself. I have this disgusting sexual desire over diapers. I don't know why. And so like I said, this won't cure it, but this will explain it. If you watch the two documentaries and you think because like at least explain to him why he has this, because like he has Christian parents that told him that he's of the devil and other stuff. Like, no, it's just biology of life. And so when I was growing up, my first heartthrob when I was really young, and those neurons was Musette from Gay Parade, who the girl Cat in the last cartoon. She's very well much patterned after Musette. And one of the guys at Warner Brothers who saw it was laughing. Looks like you're kind of copying Delilah from the Super Dog. Like, so you guys copied the same source that I did, except my source is copied a little closer than Delilah, but Delilah is Musette with just upturned floofs on the cheeks and all that, and you made her kind of yellowish. And like, oh, touche. Um, so yeah, so people that have a fetish, I don't hold it unless it's like like a pedophilia or something like that is a curse. Even Howard Stern said like that be a fetish that uh, he's glad that he doesn't have because you'd be fighting that one your entire life. You have to make sure that never uh, surfaces. So like some fetishes like that can be really harmful. And people that have that in their life, they just have to fight it. And there's no way to be able to uh, be free of that particular one. Um, but yeah, so like that explained why my entire life I'm uh, uh, a 60-year-old virgin. Like that movie that was the 31, it's like 30. I'm gonna die holding that banner on the hill of that virginity to the end because humans just don't interest me in the slightest. But a cartoon character ooh, and don't people like most people in the industry know that about me, and I joke about it all the time because it is kind of a joke. You can joke about it and laugh, but at the same time, it's like yeah, it's kind of a truth, and I'm kind of stuck like that. But then I also have this super guilt where I can't pretend to have a relationship with a character because I feel guilty. Like, oh, that character has someone else in the cartoon. Or then if you try to say, well, it's only an acting, we're like, oh, but this is a really attractive cartoon character. I'm this disgusting looking human being. This character would have nothing to. But you're the animator of these characters. Yeah, but I'm just the technician, and this character is the actor, and they're free to go to be with whomever that they want to be. I would never want to be like the evil guy that draws it. Like, hey, you must pleasure me, or I will kill you. So like I had that two-edged sword. So like when I was talking about how when I discovered the brony thing, and everyone in Second Life they were just completely gaga over the show, and I didn't know what the show was because it's the Canterlot wedding episode, and they built all this stuff and Nightmare Moon and Chrysalis. Like, what is this? So like I went to Google, like I feel left out. So like I want a pony to fixate over. So I just typed MLP FIM in Google, and it's just kind of scrolling through all the images. And then I came across one, oh, this got to be like a background character. I've never heard of this character. So I just right clicked on that image. I didn't even click into the page to find out who this character was, but right click copy and like it's like this cute, like messy 80s haired, like pinkish purplish pony. She's smiling. There's like crystals in the background or something. Oh, this is adorable. So like then I built a model in Second Life. It took like 40 iterations because I was trying to figure out how to match the Miro rig because like what he did human body to put the pony was like really weird. So I had to kind of guess how to adjust the bones, get it in there, and boom. And it's like, oh, it's Princess Cadence. Like, what? I thought it was like some unknown background character. Oh no, and that's the only pony that has a husband. Like, oh, oh God, oh God. I lasted only maybe 2, 3 weeks as Cadence. Like the last IM I got from that DJ was the one where I said, "Check, please, I'm done." And then I talked to the guys who play the official Luna and the Celestia in the sim of Canterlot at the time, and the owner of almost all the Sims, which was Aurora. It's like, time to play poker here. We're gonna exchange who had the most filthiest items because I think I have it here in my hand. Take that. And the Luna says, like, that's pretty good, but here's my most vulgar item. And she shared like, oh my gosh, that is really vile. What you like? I banned him from the kingdom. Celestia then's like, that's pretty good, sister, but I think I can top you. She shared her I am. It's like, whoa, it's like light years beyond what I was. And and then like, and what did you do, Princess Celestia? Like, oh, she said like perma band. Aurora said like, I got you all beat. And she slapped down her deck of cards, and it was like, oh my, I didn't think anyone would what, especially the owner of The Sims, and you just popped off that line, that person just got perma-banned, like, and it still happens to him all the time, and it's like I said, I only could stand, like, maybe 3 weeks of that, and then with the guilt that I picked a character that has a husband, it's like, "Oh, God." I just felt like this incredible heel, um, so there's that. I forget how I got off on that dirt road to go back and so what
Oh,
we
it's
were
fine.
talking about here?
I'd love to come and check out the GYC. I might pop in there tonight. I'm actually free for the rest of the evening, so I'll go.
Oh,
I'll go
yeah.
check that out. Um,
Yeah, his show is gonna start, I think it's 6 o'clock California time. So it's 4:42, so whatever 6 o'clock is Central Time, that's when he's gonna be there, which it'll be 8 o'clock your time. And the GWAC is on the Sim Renji. When you teleport there, there'll be like a teleport thing that'll take you up there. Don't worry if you're wearing like a pony avatar. There, everyone is welcome. There, humans, ponies. Like there's every now and then there'll be some other pony avatar there. No one will harass you like, "What's a G-rated kid like you being here?" It's like no, it's like ponies are you. So you'll be like, especially if the host Phil is there. Phil is like the nicest guy on earth. He wears like a anthro deer avatar. Like, yeah. So like a few of them I refuse to talk to. It's like you are in permanent mute mode. I will not respond to the emails. Like when you spend a lifetime persecuting these people and then you're wearing your dicks and all kind of stuff, like don't need to talk to you. Uh, but that's my life in Second Life. Let's talk about something fun now.
Something
Like,
fun. All right, I'm gonna hop over real quick and see what we have on questions before I get too far into things.
oh yes.
Um, looks like we got something. How do I get back? There we go. You think I've been doing this long enough?
Oh well, yeah, I'm still not all that clear on Discord yet. I just use it for like just a couple of things, like just to talk to like just a couple of friends while we do we're wearing our avatar and people are playing their video games, and so it's like this geeky thing where you're just watching everyone's characters as they play some other guys just doing art in the background, or they're playing their video games I've even heard of. or I'll stream some of my film stuff in back of me, and I'll be doing commentary like how on YouTube guys will do commentary over a commentary video, like this one guy called Art of Kicks. He's this big guy, and he just loves to watch Sir Spooks and all those guys as they do like a compilation stuff, and then he'll do his comments on it. It's like you'll be seeing my character making disparaging comments over the very films that I'm doing. Like, look at this crap. Do you believe that this guy is doing all this crap and is wasting his time and not making a dime on the stuff? But it's just kind of fun. Oh, but so what are the questions?
We don't have a whole lot at the moment actually, so
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
wait for things to pile up.
Well, I can always invent something like, how about the time when you what? I'm not going to answer that. That's embarrassing. Oh, come on. You promised you'd talk about it. No, I'm not going to talk about it.
Here's a fun one for you. Did you have a childhood nickname you grew up with?
Nah.
No.
Only nickname. No, because I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I was part of the loser gang, like the weird kids. We would ride in the back of a convertible with a road cone on our head, and I have a garden hose, like we'd go down the highway and all that. Only nickname I got right now, closest thing to a fan name I got, and it's stuck. It's a name I absolutely hate, and it's the name that I got here. It's a Satch Flan because like I started Second Life, and you gotta pick like a last name. I just got this account on my birthday as like a birthday gift to myself because supposedly you could build your own avatars. And I'm like, I want to see if I can make my avatar. So I picked something simple to remember because I thought I was gonna keep it for like a week and give up. Flan is the shortest one. First name. I just picked it randomly in my head, like Satch Flan. There we go. I can remember that easily. I had no idea I would have been in Second Life for like 16, 17 years. It's like, why did I pick a better name? So people will go like Snatch Flan, Scratch Clan, Match Flan. So I always encourage people to screw up my name because so many furries try doing that to really piss me off and stuff. And so like even in VR chat, my main character is Satch Flynn, and all my friends go, "Hey, there's Snatch Flynn." Uh,
I mean that works. I mean I don't know if it's a childhood nickname, but I mean
I never had a childhood. Like I didn't have a whole lot of friends. We didn't have any names at all. There was closest thing to it is when I was really young, I got lost in the Sears, and a security guard found me, and they went to the store wide intercom, like, yes, we have a small kid here who goes by the name of Hippogator, and my parents knew, like, oh god, that's our son, and so they picked me up, and so like years later, I asked my mom, like, why did I say Hippogator? Like, oh, you were really into Wally Gator and the hippo character that Hanna-Barbera did at the time, Wally Gator and Hurricane Hippo. And so as a small kid, I got it screwed up. I call it Hippogator or something. But that was the only time that was ever used. It's like I I didn't know how to answer. Like, what is your name, young child? This guy with a badge. I'm like, uh, I didn't answer my real name unless I was going to jail. Like, and so I gave a fake name. My name is Hippogator. All right. We have a kid here called Hippogator here who's seemed to have lost his parents, and my mom and dad knew exactly who that was.
that's pretty good actually. Uh, Hippogator. All right, that's a good one. We're gonna have to bring that one back. That's real good. So since you found out Cadence is taken, and I get why you wouldn't want to impede on Shining Armor like that, but do you have a favorite pony? Just a favorite pony, just in general.
Well, I I like designs and stuff, but I can't have an emotional crush on it because I feel like a heel. I like Celestia a lot. I like the design. There's a few heads shapes that I really like. Um, there's one head shape that started appearing in the later episodes, like a three-quarter where the nose looked a little bit too blocky for me, where the other angles looked much more smooth shape. Well, here, let me do like a screen share. I got a picture of her on my desktop here. Hopefully this won't, I'm just gonna do a screen share. I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
um, yeah, so like the Celestia here, like that head, I really is like a lot. Her front head shot, um, but then they introduced some newer headshot that was not in the beginning parts of the show. It's like a blockier, it's like a three-quarter front headshot, and they put too much of a blockiness in the nose and muzzle. I was like, oh, I don't like that angle or view a whole lot.
Seth will be delighted to hear that. That's your desktop wallpaper?
Well, I have three screens. Each
Oh,
screen has something different. Um, yeah, I like CG characters, my own drawings, uh, stuff that just reminds me of the film industry and stuff. So that you can always see what you've done, what other people have done. So you kind of surround yourself in it, and it kind of helps keep
yeah.
your artistic stuff flow. Like I don't like on all the screens. There's something different, a mixture of my own artwork and classical studio stuff, CG characters, just so you're looking at stuff all the time. You're looking at different ways of doing something. Like, oh, well, that's way of doing something. Like Aslan's head. That one scene there of that first show with Aslan. That one scene, even CG guy says that the time that was done, the computers were weaker, the programs were not as good as today. It would take like hours and hours and hours to render one frame. And everyone says that that one scene where he comes at 10 is like one of the most technical, most amazing scenes. And when you watch him just come to 10, the weight and everything and how the hair moves, it's like, holy smokes, that beats out a lot of CG that is done today because the artists are back then worked with that cruder way of animating and the rendering, and they had to do pass after pass after pass. Like they like for just a few frames, the fur didn't look right. They would send it back, and they would spend like a week or two to render out one scene. Um, like let's see, stop streaming. Like on the other screen, uh, like here, like I've got stuff in Gay Paree, the drawings I've done, CG stuff from various films and all that. Um, right now, I'm trying to study a real lion's head construction, trying to figure out just a few things of how to form the hair so it looks more like a realistic lion as opposed to like a cartoon one, which the Lion King stuff is kind of an absolute cheat. But it's like this is one of these really hard things to kind of really figure out exactly where to put all those types of shapes. And then the cat nose, like is like I'm really just taking a look at the nose, just trying to figure exactly how to shape that in like my own 3D stuff. Because like I'm so used to drawing like Hanna-Barbera characters that this type of character here. It's like a real simple triangular type of a this nose there. Um, but yeah, so like every screen, like the screen that I'm talking to now has got something else on it, but right now it's blocked by the whole um, uh, whoops. I'm hitting the wrong buttons here.
Oh no.
I don't know how to use this thing. So I try to keep stuff so that you can judge your stuff against like other stuff in the film industry. Like, I can prove this and even at my age. Oh, and speaking of age, if you join my 38 club today, you never age a day past 38, and it comes with all kinds of perks. If you're younger than 30, then don't worry because you'll age normally. And then when you hit 30, bing, you lock at 38 and you don't have to worry about it. And when that waitress comes to bring you that senior citizen menu, you can tell that waitress to shove it right for. Anyways, I can talk about some of the perks about that. Um, but anyway, so like to this day, I'm still is learning stuff. Like I learned something about animation or drawing from a Furry. Just about 2 weeks ago, like I made friends with this one guy on VR chat, and he's in that Discord thing that we'll do, and he's like probably the fastest artist I have ever seen in my life, faster than I think anyone I know in the industry, except for like maybe a Dan Haskett or um, someone of that nature. Like he could do a finished drawing, color with lighting, effects, and everything in like 10 minutes. Like I was just talking
Wow.
with him, he was doing a screen share, and I was talking to him, and he was just drawing, and like I just keyed in like it's only a minute. He roughed out a drawing already. It's like, whoa! uh, anyway, so what we were talking about, and then about a couple of minutes, it was fully colored, rendered with shadows, effects, and like a quick background. It's like, wait. Were you doing like some speed lapse? Nobody draws that fast. Like, no, I'm just doing like, holy smokes. And then he showed me like a few of his techniques, like, oh my gosh, that is ingenious. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like I told you about how I learned more about animation, but after Disney decided they didn't want us in 2D Jedi Animated Nightmare and they cast us to the winds. And when I learned how to build a puppet for Flash, like when I started using Flash for furryfans.com, I was using it more like a traditional thing. I do all the poses and use it more like a traditional thing. And then when I finally learned how to do a puppet, that's when you could do a scene in about just like 5 minutes that would take you several days to do. And when you're in a studio and you got a tight deadline, you don't you don't want to leave your comfort zone because you got a deadline. If the experiment doesn't work, you got to do it over again. And then you get split with the director. Yeah, I was trying something different, didn't quite pan out. So you just keep doing the same thing all the time. So on Flash, because the tweens and you can drop out frames, you can try things, you can try an experiment within just like a couple of minutes. Like you can like shorten the timing, you can do a overshoot, you can do all kinds of stuff. And big scenes like like the two scenes that I showed you, the new shorts I'm coming up with, the cat and the mouse. Each one of those scenes, if I was doing those traditionally, would have probably taken me like a good week of doing all the in-betweens and cleaning up, doing the timing charts, getting it set up for cleanup. Then I'll go to the cleanup department, they will clean up, and then off to the digital ink and paint. So that one scene would probably take you a good like almost a month. And here you can do it like about little under a day's time, like 8 in the morning till about like 4, and then you call it quits for the day because you're kind of worn out because you had to draw the background for it and you had to do the animation. Um, a lot of the standard scenes, like with Athena and Lustrous in the Jeep and all that, those scenes go so fast because their bodies are not as moving around, just their body just shifting a bit, a lot of dialogue. So I can knock out about like 3 or 4 scenes of that in one day. Uh, and in case it got cut off like that, that cartoon would have taken me about 2 months to do, but because I took that Space Jam job and that was brutal. We were working weekends, holidays, and all kind of stuff. And then when that ended, I got hired on to the Animaniacs show where they wanted to get as many traditional guys to go over the storyboards, clean them up, and do really nice poses to make it look as animated as possible. So when it goes to, I think Korea is doing the show, so it gets closer to that Warner Brothers feel and all that. And that was even more brutal. It's like had to work all for my Christmas, weekends, late late nights, and so it wasn't until the shows ended and I told the studio, I'm taking time off. I'm gonna spend like 4 or 5 months doing my own thing. But now with like Netflix firing all of their animation team, now there's a flood of people out in the market, and everyone's and Warner Brothers is done a hiring freeze because the executive there is slaying the heads of all the executives that are not doing anything in the company except sucking millions of dollars in bonuses every month. And says if you don't bring money to this company, you're out because a company should only have one executive, one for the studio, one for a theme park, and one for over here, not hundreds. Not everyone hiring their friends, all getting on the bandwagon of easy money, then jack up the price of Disneyland to where it costs like $200+ just to walk in the doors, or a $6,000 for 2 days, 1 night hotel stay at the Star Wars Hotel in Florida. Um, so right now there's a hiring freeze, and I've been offered to work on this one film, which I'm not really keen to work on because it's very much like that vulgar Seth. Oh God, what's his name? The comedian Seth. He did that hot dog animated
Seth
film.
Rogen, right?
Yeah, and it's very much on the lines of that, of like filthy comedy dogs that are taking one dog out for something, and they all got ball sacks and buttholes, and there's red rocket gags, and it's like, oh God, I don't want to end my career on that one. So like I told him, okay, if I work it, I want one thing out of this. So I get something geeky. I'm like, what's that? I don't want my name on the end credits. I want my fan name because I think that would be at least kind of funny. Put Satch
That would be
up there.
pretty funny. Yeah.
And like, oh, I guess we could do it. Like that's the only way I'm going to work on that damn film because like it is so against what I'm about. I like wholesome films. I don't want to. with all the farting they're putting in films now, the bathroom humor, it's like that used to be called vulgar comedy, just like back in the 90s stuff. You would never imagine that in these films. But now, like, I saw this one film with a friend. It's the latest DreamWorks, Bad Guys. Beautifully animated
Yeah,
film, amazing. Uh, when the fart scene came up, I went, check, please. I just got up and left. I just cannot stand that anymore. But the film is beautifully done.
I
It's
don't
like
even remember
it's
a fart scene.
oh, there's this piranha character. He farts with this
Yeah,
giant
yeah,
green
yeah, yeah,
glass,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and just like it kills everyone or something. I just like, God, I can't take this one. I want check, please. I just left. Um, I told you about the Lion Guard even. When I when I was at Renegade doing the Tom and Jerry show, I was there. Um, I was kind of doing assistant directing work there, and I was doing storyboards and going over scenes and all that. And so I'd be in contact with the Canadian studio that was doing the Tom and Jerry show. And while I was there working, I just always had like YouTube playing some videos in the background. And all of a sudden, the Lion Guard popped on. What's this? So I thought it was like, oh, Disney got the Australia studio back, the ones that did the Lion King 2 feature, because it looked very competently drawn and everything like. And so I'm just kind of then all of a sudden I noticed there was something different about it, where there's one scene of Scar in this green fire. It was drawn too perfectly. Like, wait a minute, spider sense is tingling. Is this like CG? So, like, what program used to make Lion Guard? Oh, Toon Boom Harmony, Toon Boom Harmony site. And on their Toon Boom Harmony site, you can see it for yourself. There's like Cartoon Gopher, and there's like tutorial, and it shows them taking their mouse cursor, they put in the nose, and they turn it in 3D space, and it's a hand drawn. It's like, oh my god. So I started watching that all the time until one episode when I guess it's a honey badger meets a female honey badger, and they start having a farting contest, green clouds of like, why not just show the character's asshole, right? This as it puckers and see shit chunks hitting the glass. Like I don't want to acknowledge a character has an asshole and farting. It's like, hey, let's go watch Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, Arnold, here's your farting scene. And Arnold would just turn to that person like, what? And that is actually be forced out the studio. Like, be no gross out humor in my film. Because it's called the gross out quota that all studios now put in the films. Because all executives, since Jeffrey Katzenberg put a fart joke in Lion King, every executive thinks that that's a key factor of making a successful film. It's like, no, you guys are idiots. It's like it actually hurts the film. Like people are taken out of reality for a moment. It's like being in a nice restaurant where you're eating a nice meal and in your line of sight, there's someone picking their nose, like, and you're like trying to, oh god, you don't want to ruin your night. You're trying to get that sight out of your head. Every parent I know is like, why do they keep doing this? Like, because these actors are brain dead. They think that's what brings in the bucks. Like, I thought it was some demographic. Nope, they all saw and I was there at the studio. I was gonna have lunch with James Baxter, who was like uh, one of the animators there who did Rafiki. And I was there in the lobby. I was at this Warner Brothers time, so I'm there. And Peter Schneider, who's the main executive of the animation department, he's walking out, and all the animators in Clean are pleading with Peter. You got to talk to Jeffrey. You can't put that kind of gag in this film. Like, and the one girl said, like, it's even hard for me to see this word, like a fart gag in Lion King. And Peter just like, Jeffrey wants it. Jeffrey's going to get it. And they fought for the longest time, I think months on this, and they finally compromised that they just put like a trumpet blast in it. But they wanted to, he wanted like big green cloud of gas in the whole thing because he saw Ren and Stimpy and he thought, that's a hoot. I'm going to put that in Disney film. Like, no, this is Disney. This is not Ren and Stimpy. So because of that, every studio now has to put that in there. And so I refuse to watch any more family films. Like, oh, it's a family film, right? Oh, so we're gonna have assholes and shitting and pissing and farting. That's family entertainment now. Like, I think the pony shows are the only ones that don't have it now, or do they? Hmm?
Ponies are actually mild. Like we were just talking the other day, there was this YouTuber that goes around and he tries to find like content inside of cartoons and try to like fill agendas. And one of them he was talking about was like homosexuality um in cartoons. And he went through like all of these different ones. And the last one he talked about was ponies. And he played the scene and it was one of the cute little kiddos, Scootaloo. She's one of the main three of the child characters, and she her aunts are implied to be gay. Um, and they just are sitting there having a conversation. Nothing's mentioned, but they're there together. And he finishes it, and he's like, "There's like that's it. Like that's
Hmm.
like all these other ones. Like I expected there to be like like nipple chains hanging from the ceiling and yada yada."
Yeah,
And he's like, "There's just that was the most mild one. Ponies are pretty. It's rare that we see anything that's even crazy." Um,
yeah. Like that is what you like. Everyone's talking about inclusivity and diversity. Like, no, no, it's got to be done naturally. You don't force it. You don't make every character now opposite sex, chop off their cocks, and do this other stuff. Like the audience is going to hate it and revolt, as we see every time that Disney, Star Wars, and all these films try to do that. They just flop when they put in the superhero movies. People
yeah.
just hate it. It's like, and they don't get it. And so Netflix has finally said like wokeness is gone. So they fired all the woke people. They're getting rid of all the content. Like this is one show called like Big Mouth, and I'm just been told that I
Oh,
wish
it's so
it's like
bad.
kids
Yeah,
having sex. Why aren't
kids.
they in
It's
jail or
fucking crazy. I agree.
like
Yeah.
that or the Cuties film?
Oh
Like, and
Jesus.
it was directed, and a critic wrote to have prior convictions of pedophilia. It's like,
Yep.
what are you
Yeah.
thinking putting that on? And so people revolted, like because like tons of Christian families are like, nope, and they dumped it. Christians are now dumped Disney like crazy. Like
Yeah.
uh, the the polls for Disney is lower than Trump, lower than Biden. Like, and most companies are like, we will not deal with Disney anymore because they are like to this day, they're still trying to pump this woke shit. Like, and they get caught all the time, like trying to groom small children, or trying to, like Bob Chapek, trying to appease the wokesters. There's only a few of them. It's a handful, and they're screeching loud. You have to ignore them. Tell them do your job or
Yep.
get out. We're here to make money. We're not here for your agenda. And it's this agenda. It's like that's one of the reasons why animation is dead because everyone went woke. So now these studios are waking up. We've lost billions in dollars on these shitty shows. And so they're now getting rid of people. So it'll probably come back. It'll just take some time. Like the executive at Warner Bros. He's slaying the necks of all these executives. Like, and it's extra crime because like usually animators are now fired. Executives have their cushy jobs and bonuses, and executive is slaying them now. And the artists there are locked. They're not losing their jobs, but the people in charge are. So there's a hiring freeze at Warner Brothers. But yeah, but the woke stuff is really destroying everything. It's like if you have a character that's gay, that's great. It's fantastic. But you can't force it. You can't rub it in people's faces because you'll rub people the wrong way, and people are gonna say, "I don't need this." Click. Um, it's like when I did the that slasher I did. Like I wanted to take back something that I feel that Furry's kind of destroyed is the swallowing thing. I don't even like to say the word vor at all. Um, it was an innocent cartoon gag, Tom and Jerry, everything. The prey inside is never killed or anything, always gets out like by stomping their way through. So, like in this next short, you can see how the mouse gets out of the cat. It's so cartoon. If you need me to replay those scenes again, did those get filmed all right? Or
The film on those came out great, and you're talking, so I can include those and just cut. I mean, it's not necessary for me to be talking. I can use that film just fine.
oh, okay, yeah. So like I just wanted to show that the mouse is like so I like that gag thing because I like cartoon characters. I want to like I can accept that as like a form of like a very innocent form of like a cartoon bondage thing because when I talk to other people who are interested in that kind of a thing, they started watching cartoons as a kid, like Cod the Snake or something. But I
Yeah.
don't understand how that turned into yeah, digest them and turn and then shit them out to a pile of crap with some Google eyes and the turd. It's like, well, how did you get that from a cartoon? Like in the cartoon, the character always gets out. It's like this because it's a cartoon. It's meant to be fun. Anyone can watch it. So like I put that in there specifically hoping furries were gonna point their finger like, "Here's Berkman, he's got vor in there." And then I was going to do an episode where the Cheshire Cat from my old furryfans.com site was gonna be resurrected, where the mouse was gonna like look for the cat to help him with this, like the strange fandom that he has never heard of. And the cat would have rose in the tomb like, ah. I sense that this fandom is still here that needs that needs a reckoning with all it. But all the comments on the page were like normal gags, like, "So I guess we won't see another cartoon until the cat poops out the mouse," like, just normal type of gags from it, like, I didn't see any furries, like, throwing a thrombos, like, pout. But so, like, I'm sure how that mouse will get out of the cat will be all sad and will be kissing the mouse like, "Okay, everything's fine, but now we have to go in a case." Um, uh, how to get met? Oh, yeah, those 2 scenes and all that kinda stuff. Every now and then I start going on a dirt road, like, "How to get down this dirt road? Oh god, a Bigfoot, put in reverse."
It's a it's a fun journey at least.
Yeah.
It,
Oh, and if I had cannabis, I'd be really off track. I'd be, like, going down all kinds of roads. Ooh, G rating, who cares about G rating?
I'd like to ask anybody who is listening though if they would like to take a moment to ask a question. I'm gonna go back and check here and see if we have any.
Now, are more people listening that aren't in the video feed, or can they hear it in that other chat thing,
Anybody,
or
only the people who are here listening at the moment.
oh, so basically people that I see in the screen can hear, but everyone else in the chat can't or something then.
Correct.
Oh, okay, because I still don't know exactly how Discord works. I'm used to
No, that's fair.
Zoom and do. Oh, I have to share you some story. I don't know if I told you about when I was at this Warner Bros. Space Jam that I showed him my Lola Bunny
Oh
cartoon.
no, really? You
But
had mentioned it, but you didn't talk about it much.
oh, like
Uh,
I can even show you it.
that would be fun. So a couple people are talking. So, oh, some people just saying they're late to the party here.
Oh, there's all kinds of booze still here. I
All
got pizza
people,
still.
all people saying hi, howdy, howdy. I don't know if Seth is still here or if he just faked us out. I wonder if he is. Seth does this thing where he like dresses up as like Spider-Man on the weekends and does like this vigilante justice thing. It's kind of strange. So he's probably out fighting crime. Oh, he's messaging me privately instead of talking in the chat. What an introvert. It's a good guy. Athena is quite the pariah though. She's an awesome character, and from what I've seen in the fandom, everybody loves her to death.
Well, like I said, when I did it, she was meant to be just a one-time gag. Like I was just gonna do just a one cartoon of her, and I expecting maybe 3 interviews because like my main audience is just my friends and family in the film industry. Like um, Don Hahn, who's the producer of the first Lion King, he'll a lot of times he'll post like a link of the videos. He finds it like a cool chuckle. What that Satch Flane is doing now. Um, and so when I popped up that film, and when I did Athena, the gag could only work if Athena was true to her heart. Just be an innocent character, just like she was a real My Little Pony character. She couldn't be sarcastic. She couldn't be mean spirited. She has to be just like Celestia. So I wanted to make a character that was just on her wavelength, but like appealing, nice, super friendly. Hey, gang, well, we just captured Lustrous here and all this kind of stuff. So she had to be real sincere. If she wasn't sincere, then the gag would not have come off because the whole idea that my live action this beer drinking, pot smoking idiot just goes up, is looking for ghosts, comes to her, hey there, Missy, and then swindles her to come back to his world and sends her out to go look for a ghost, and he ends up like scaring the living daylights out of her. And I thought it'll probably get maybe 300 views, and that's it. And that day, a friend might call like something's wrong. That video's got like 2,000. Like, what are you talking about? No one watches any of that stuff. So like, they're like, reading the comments, like, oh my god, everyone really likes the Athena character, huh? And people were dying to know what the three kingdoms were and all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm gonna have to explain this now. So that's when I did the other big one that was about 2 months at a time doing. So I had to invent all the stuff that I just wrote in the script, like three kingdoms, blah 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 blah. So I had to invent like this lore really fast off the top of my head. So like in uh, the 4chan PonyCon, I said, but you guys are more than happy to invent the lore, but I'll kind of do like an idea of what the three kingdoms are, so you can run with it. You can invent anything you want. Like it's a free gift to the worlds. Three warring kingdoms, and these ponies in the middle have been gifted with the power of magic. I I had so many fans like, she doesn't have a horn. She doesn't have a horn. I purposely did that too because a lot of the ponies from Second Life, I had Cadence. I didn't have her horn on half the time. Like, where's her horn? Like, oh, out having it polished. It was so dirty. I want to get all, and that drove them nuts. Like, so like, oh, they're really have it to where you can only have magic if you have a horn. So like, okay, Athena's got to have magic, but no horn. And so then I had to invent the whole lore to make it sound like it comes from the same planet. They were just average ponies that were just gifted with the power of this magic in flight, so they can try to help keep peace and order there. That's why that there's no one there has one. They're all kind of the same species of ponies, different. They're kind of tallish, but not quite the alicorn height is what Celestia is, like kind of tall and slender, but not really regal and royal, kind of like common folk, but they were charged with a very heavy task of just keeping the peace as much as they possibly can. Um, People have asked me to do like a serious episode, like I can. I will do it if I decide to. If this film they want me to work on, it got postponed. It was supposed to start in June, and I was constantly like, "Oh, we have some bad news. They're pushing back the start date because they're having dispute with some of the voice talent." I said, "No problem, my end." Blam! Like, and so they said it probably won't start till the end of summertime. Like, sounds good to me. This is a great vacation for me. Like, I can just live on raw vegetables and water and some beer occasionally. And I'll just do a whole bunch of stuff for YouTube. So I'm taking this time where I'm just trying to power as much stuff for YouTube as I possibly can now. And the YouTube channel, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with it because since it's getting kind of popular, it started as like just beer and pot smoking, looking for ghosts. And now it's like, uh-oh, it's getting kind of popular. Uh-oh. It's like, so like I may have to like start getting rid of some of the live action ones where it's like pot smoking and going out looking for ghosts and stuff and try to keep it a little more G-rated and stuff. So I may have to do some surgery on the site, maybe on this next upload, just start taking away some of the live action ones that like the 30-minute challenge where I actually did smoke pot and I went out to the river wash and I got lost. It was the first time I ever smoked pot while while going outside. It's like I was filming myself, and by the time I got in the street, it's like, oh my gosh, this is really hitting hard. I'm lost where I am. And I went down the forest and just kind of rambled on, couldn't really film anything. And a couple were on a bench that were smooching in the forest, smoochers. And I'm filming myself like, and we'll capture these red bastard ghosts and we'll kick the shit out of them. And I'm seeing them in the corner of my like, oh god. Well, since they already think I'm a freak, just keep on going with it. Just roll with it. Hopefully I can pick them up. But unfortunately, they were so dark that the camera didn't pick them up. So I think I'll have to remove those or maybe move all the animation onto their own site. Um, and just have it like completely G-rated cartoon stuff. Um, and do it like that. Like have some like cartoon romance stuff that'd be cute and adorable and all that kind of stuff, and maybe keep the paranormal margarita is just where I'll keep all the live action pot smoking, beer drinking crap, and
The live action stuff is fun though. I don't know.
well,
Um,
like I'm just afraid that like oh my gosh, because like some of the films don't exactly meet the YouTube guidelines. It's
well,
like, but anytime I'm doing animation, I try to keep that really wholesome and nice, little edgy every now and then, but keep it pretty much there. Like, I think the most hardest gag I had was when, Athena wanted to drink the lemonade, and then I said, "Yeah, with about, 2 or 3 shots of vodka," and then she spits it out. And then like, "Oh, that's some powerful lemonade," like, but that's probably the most hardest thing I did, but I see stuff like that in, like, a whole bunch of cartoons where a cartoon character will accidentally or something will get drunk, but hers would just like her eyes just spun a little bit, and then she shakes it off, and,
magic.
uh
It took care
yes,
of that for her.
yes.
I'm gonna check really quick if we have any questions. I think we did get a couple. Um,
"Why does it grow his hair like that?" It's the COVID hair. I thought, "Let me just grow it for my first time in life to see how horrible it can get," and it's looking very Halloween-like. Yes.
the
Yeah.
You had mentioned like all of these views started flooding in, and I'm curious if you got any traffic from EQD because I know we shared that
I
when it came out.
Some people linked me EQ, which I didn't hear about it. I'm amazed that all the years I've been on SL and hanging with the ponies, I think I remember hear them talking about it, but I didn't really key in on it. Um, like I said, I think the only thing that I saw that's like, oh well, here's all where all the good stuff is, and they gave me a link, and I was unprepared for it. And he told me the guy does like really this nice stuff now, and so I went to it, and it's Celestia. She's lusting at this donut, eyes burning, and it's this donut, and she's licking her smuzzle. Then the last panel was like her back legs is a puddle of water on the ground. Like, what? And so I looked at it again. Looked at it again. I'm not following this. And then I looked at the comments before and after, like, oh, it's porn. And then I scold the person, why did you show me that? Like, that's Princess Molestia. Like, Princess Molestia.
Yeah,
And
Princess Molestia.
that's where the good, oh,
Of
that's like,
course,
oh my
that's a cult
God.
classic.
And so like that was about the only link that I saw. But I did see on that cartoon, someone posted a link to EQD of like some stuff of a thing like, oh wow, that it's really taken off. It like didn't really intend it to be, but happy people like the character. One fan said like, I don't know if I like Lustrous now better than Athena because like I turn Lustrous kind of like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, where she's still a bad guy, but she hangs around the group like I'll take care of him. I'm a villain after all. So her and Athena can go on trips together, but Lustrous will do the dastardly work that Athena would never do because she's really good hearted and really good nature type of character where she would never think about zapping someone's butt, where Lustrous has no qualm about doing it or send the weirdlings in to mm, to do all of that. But uh, yeah, but I'm happy people like the character. So like after this short with the cat and the mouse, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna do one with Athena and Celestris. I think by themselves. Um, I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna go because I'm trying to extract myself out from the world in kind of like a natural like pulling it away because like since I don't want to corrupt the world with my the drunken pot smoking thing. So I'm going to pull myself out of it. So it's just Lustrous and Athena now. And Lustrous will eventually will break down and tell Athena, you do know he's not a wizard. What? He's just a drunken idiot. He doesn't have any powers. Like, but he created a portal. That was the cat doing it all along. Like that's why I introduced the cat. Like I thought, like I have to have a reason why I create a portal. Well, it wasn't me. It was the cat.
Heck yeah! And I, by the way, I've been trying to before I ask you this question from the chat here, I've been trying to dig up some of the old comics and the such you had done and some of your websites, and I found a little bit. It's unfortunate that a lot of that stuff seems to be, yeah, like you really got to hunt for some of it.
Oh yeah, like after well the old furryfans.com site, after 3 years of like death threats from the furries and all this, like all the furries that didn't know me, they loved it. Thought it was funny. It was like a mad magazine version of the con. The fans that really hated me just were foaming at the mouth at me for doing it. But that was my little parting shot. It's like I tried being your friends for like 20 years, gave you endless amounts of money to help you out financially, costumes, art, and you guys start inventing lies. Like the only crime they can point to outside this, well, he did the comic. No, no, no. I did the comic and the website because of real shitty treatment that I've gotten from them. I've had my job threatened 3 times and blackmailed by these people that I called friends.
Mm-hmm.
The only crime was that I took James Baxter to a Comic Con. James Baxter, he was one of the animators in Roger Rabbit. He came to America. He's like one of these natural gifted artists. He's like one of the best animators in the industry now. And he just wanted to go to a Comic Con. Like, okay, we'll go on down. It was the mid '80s. It was when I think furries just got their name, and the only thing they had was like a party they would have on a Saturday night in the Hotel San Diego. And I didn't want to show him that. I just want to show him like the whole con because showing furries, it's going to open up a can of worms. So as we're going to the con, furries that recognize me would approach me like I told you. I don't know if I'm rehashing this on the good portion of the video from last time, but be like,
No.
this one huge guy would come to, "Hey, Shawn Keller," and me and James Baxter like same height. We're looking at this monolith, like, oh yeah, like I draw the meanest gadgets, like, oh, like machine guns, firearms, like, and he unfolds this like wrinkled up like notebook paper of Gadget the Mouse from Rescue Range with a split beaver shot, completely open. It's like, and Baxter's like, what the? And then he eventually just wanders away like a Bigfoot sighting, and you'll never see him again. Then and then another encounter with this one phrase came in with anger. "You son Keller." James Baxter's like getting freaked out. Like, yes, like, "I don't like you." "Why is that?" You draw a lot of deers." "Yeah." "I don't like deers. I like rabbits." And then he turns and leaves. Like, now James is, what the hell? Then the last coup de grace that made James Baxter ask who are these people is when we were I wanted to kind of steer clear from Steve Martin's table, who's now into porn like crazy now. Steve sees me and he sees I'm with someone. So he takes one of those big portfolios, he's selling stuff. He tosses it to James Baxter. Like, I'm going, oh, fuck. And so James opens up, and then Steve's like, "So, you in that lesbo stuff?" And he looks to it, it's like all this like hardcore artwork. And James in this very British accent is like, "You one screwed up motherfucker, aren't you?" And and then Steve just took that as a comment. "Well, thank you." It's like, so now James is asking, who are these people? Like, wait, we haven't talked. These people are, they call themselves the furries. They're into cartoon animals. They started out really innocent, like the Jim Gross who do military animals, Yosobi Jimbo and all that stuff. But now they found they can make lots of money just doing porn. And and they have a party here on the Saturday nights. Like you go like, I want to see this. Like, I'll point you to where it is, but I'm not gonna walk in there. And so I point, and so he goes in there, and he's gone for like about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and he comes out. That was really messed up. Let's go home. And so that incident is the one crime. It's like, I'm sorry, like people like, I'll say his name because like, guy's been pissing me off to this day. Mark Schurmeister. He's been hating me for about 30 years now on crimes I never did, just made up stuff. But that's the one crime he will always like hammer me. And he used to work in the animation industry too. He'll never get a job again because like he just spent his entire life trying to badmouth me to everyone else he could find in the industry. Like as soon as he finds someone, like I just talked to a friend of mine, um, Shawn Bishop, him and his wife were at a grocery store and he bumps into Sherm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And like, "Hey there, Sherm." Like, "Have you heard of this Shawn and Keller guy?" This is like 20 years after furryfans.com. Like, yeah, like he's a horrible, evil person. Like, why so? He did this comic. Like, what's it coming about furries? He has every right then to make fun of the furries. So what are you going on about? So he spent all this time bad, and studios love working with me because I try to do. If you tell me to work incredible hours, I will do it. I'm there. I try to do the most efficient job as possible. So he's trying to trash me, and then they start looking to him like, okay, he's one of these furries because studios generally don't like to hire furries. Like I was telling you, when I'll occasionally will do some teaching at the colleges here, and I'll go over all the students' art and try to show them how to stuff. All students have to always and ask me all the stuff I do for YouTube, and then I start showing them it in Flash, Open Spies. But when we see like a potential student that we think might be a furry, we'll take them to the side because we don't want them to lose their tuition. So we'll talk to them like, just to let you know that if a studio even suspects you're a furry, you may not get hired and you might be put on a blacklist. It's unfair, but studios have had a lot of bad instances of hiring someone and they draw a porn of a character before the film is even out, and the studio can be held liable to this. Like before Zootopia, I didn't even know Zootopia was. I was doing a search in the summertime, I was looking for a cartoon fox design, like how they did something on the nose or something. And I saw these rough drawings that looked really professional of this fox with this big dick and screwing this rabbit character. Like, this looks rather Disney. What the hell is this? Zootopia. And then I started like, and it's coming up, and the film's not scheduled to come out till Christmas times. Like, and so the studio went through and they scrubbed all the art. They found out who did these drawings. the person was fired. He'll never work in the animation industry ever again. It's like when you betray the studio's trust and you draw their characters in something inappropriate, you will say adios to your job. So anytime we come up with a studio, it's like, look, it's okay if you want to be a furry or a brony, whatever, but you're spending $100,000, either of your own money or your parents' money on this college degree. Don't blow this thing. Uh, Shut down your Fur Affinity site. Don't think you can lock it. Studios can get through locked doors because, like this one girl, like I told you, she was furry and proud and would accuse you of being a furry if you merely watched The Lion King. And we told her, like, stop saying that. That furry is a title you choose to take on. You do not label someone a furry that doesn't want to be called it. That's for your agenda. Um, don't ever do that. And so she would badmouth too, like yeah, she would badmouth James Baxter's horse animation in Spirit. He's like the best animator who could animate a horse without any reference at all. And she's like, he got the flying gait right and all the stuff wrong. And then she would just draw this porn, and we would tell her, like, you got to stop this. You don't want to waste your $100,000 of 4 years. Well, she didn't listen to us. So now she just designs tattoos at a tattoo shop. The furries that do is listen to us get jobs in the industry, and they're very successful. It's like you can draw anything you want on your own time. Just don't put it out there. Studio will be sniffing for it, and they'll be looking for it. Like when I was doing the 4chan virtual PonyCon, a lot of people ask, "Will you make Athena's model available?" And I said, "Unfortunately, I can't. Because of me being burned, blackmailed, threatened to be fired by furries, I can't give you the model. You pass it, and people start doing obscene things with it. It's my art style." So the studio say, "What are you doing drawing all this filthy stuff for?" And that can threaten is my job. I can say I gave out the assets and that I can't control. So fortunately, people want to do Grace with Athena. You have my blessing. Just I can't give you that model of it because it'll pretty much will destroy me. Like so. I forget how I went down that dirt
Fair
trail.
enough. No, I'm glad you did because that bit got cut out of the
Oh,
take
okay.
yesterday. So I was gonna ask about the furries in the industry thing because that might be helpful for people to have that
Just
perspective
have
if they
put,
don't.
I just have put some brighter sunshades here because I'm starting to get this like side glare here. These are my Vince Neil specs. I have to do a Vince Neil live action thing since the last time. They're like, hey, Vince Neil's lost a lot of weight. Say that's great to see. Vince Neil is taking care of his body. Like, who the hell is Vince Neil? Like, oh, it's the lead singer of Motley Crue. And I looked at pictures like, if I just dyed my hair right and just get the same aviator specs, so like I'm gonna do like Vince Neil Monster Hunter, like and give him a cockney voice. Oh, you don't like me music, doesn't you? Punch, and then he'll have like a little animated mascot, something really dumpy and crumpy, like some bad Hanna-Barbera character done like the late this 70s called Music Mutt, who's coughing and hacking. uh, but I forget where we're going now.
I've got a question from the audience from you.
Question.
It's topical to your work as well. Somebody said, as someone who worked on the Black Cauldron, were you surprised by the initial commercial and critical reaction of the project? And along those lines, what was your best experience working on a project or the favorite project that you've worked on, or a favorite project that you've worked on?
Let's see. So, when we were working on Black Collar, all this animation it was like it took 3 years to get done. The directors were used to be like animators and stuff like that, and they just kind of rose up and took a position. They were very nice guys. The problem was they all were doing their own film. Art Stevens would do a musical. Rick Rich wanted to do something else, and Ted Burn would do something else. Like they would even fight amongst women. Like Turan, in some the sequence would have a belt to hold a sword. The other director didn't want a belt; they wanted a rope, so they would change the model. They would fight amongst themselves, and we knew it was just. I mean, they're really nice people, but the original inspirational art that the original artist did, like it was Milt Kahl's last stuff he did. He did some drawings of the uh, oh god, the Skeleton King, whatever is the Horn King or whatever it was. Beautiful drawings, stunning, amazing art. He did initial drawings of Trent Island. It's like the return of Disney. Oh my gosh. Well, they threw all that and they went with like the new kids on the block, and it's like a sad, watered down version of what it could have been. And Bill, what's his name? God, I can't remember his names like Mill Shaw was like the oldest. He would do these inspirational things with pastels, chalks, and paints. He did a lot of stuff on Alice in Wonderland. You could see his stuff. I think like very Mary Blairish type stuff. Amazing stuff. It all got thrown in the dumpster for something else that was very uncontrollable. So when Ron Miller came in, he said, "We'll not be spending 3 years on films. It'll be 1 year." So he kind of cleaned house at that point. My favorite films, I guess I liked Basil probably the best because I like cartoon animals. Producer didn't enjoy me though. I shouldn't even talk about that because it's kind of controversial. Like he hated me with a passion. We used to be really good friends, and then he hated me for a passion. In fact, that's why I put the fox on YouTube. It kind of ties into that. He claimed I was drawing that goddamn fox again because I used the fox to get my job at the studio, and then I was told by the my Disney instructors, well, Stansfield Delver, to go down to the animation resources where they kept all the old scenes. It's like we want you to go down, get all the milk call scenes of Robin Hood and copy them. Just study them. Like you're gonna pay me to do what I've been doing as a kid to draw Robin. Oh, okay. And since I'm not really an artist, I got a job in the studio and I'm not really an artist. I just know how to draw shapes. So like instead of like learning anatomy, like, well, let me just figure out how to make that scratchy line like Mill and how to draw these shapes. But I don't know how to construct a human body for the life of me. So I'm not really an artist, but I can emulate things, I can mimic things, but I can't really invent things. So if you want to design a film, unless you want to look like a cheap copy of Robin Hood, you might want to ask someone else. Um, and for me, drawing Athena like was really hard. I was trying to draw the standard pony, but it's really round, and I have a hard time with that because like my brain neurons. Oh, on the same documentary I told about with the fetishes, they talked about a few things that explain things. How you can look at a model and you can't draw it. It's like because your neurons, it's kind of fascinating. It's kind of like a colony. They're all vying for nutrients. So you probably experienced this, like when a friend says, "I'm gonna go down to the store and get some milk," and you say, "Hey, you might not want to go down that road because there's a car accident," and they get angry, like, "I'm going down there no matter what." Like, okay, okay, okay. What's going on in their head is there's a war. Those neurons are putting anger hormones because if you tell them something new neurons will pick up that, and those neurons have the chance to die. Like so that's why your memories get faded and weak, or like when you learn a new way of doing something, um, your neurons are fighting and struggling because they want all the nutrients. Your brain puts out happy hormones. Like when you're playing a piano and you're or doing whatever and you're doing it, you're undisturbed, you get faster and faster and faster and faster. Someone knocks on the door, you get kind of angry because your neurons were enjoying all the nutrition. Like, and they talk to you like, okay, and then they leave. Now you have to almost start from the start. You start slow again, and then you get fast and fast. So like that's why I find working at home better than a studio because when someone knocks on your door, it just takes you out of it. Um, So, God, I just went down a dirt road again. What was the question? Neurons,
You're
drawing something, learning. Oh, rounds and stuff. So, so when I'm trying to draw the round, all rounds, I have a hard time because there's that war going on. I'm trying to learn something new, and no matter what I do, I can't draw it. Like for me, drawing Mickey Mouse is really hard. I have to like find a way to put like an angle or straight or against a curve or something. Because my entire life I've been drawing like Robin Hood, Hanna-Barbera, those angles and stuff. So when I was drawing Athena, I was going to draw like an original smaller pony, but I couldn't do it. So then I picked, well, let me try something more alicornish. So like because like Celeste will have like curves against straights, against a curve against a straight angle here and an angle there. Like okay, my head can wrap around that. Um, have the eyelash being like a real hard and straight against like a curve, so my brain can figure that out. Um, but it's fascinating that we're subjected to towards our brain chemistry to it. So it could be with fetishes or trying to learn something new, whatever it is. If you're learning a brand new program, it's easy. Your neurons, so like, I don't know. So brand new neurons are now kicking in. But now, say like you learn Photoshop and Adobe in their wisdom, we're going to improve it by changing all the buttons. Now you're like, you And now your ink is like, where the hell did they put this button down? Or like in the last Premiere and Adobe Audition for the last short, um, there's a couple of times where Athena and Lester's lines got fouled up in Audition. I'll be recording it, and at the end of the line, it sounds like it's warbling from one speaker. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, and I can't get rid of that. So Adobe screwed up Adobe Audition, Premiere, they removed a lot of the green screen stuff. But since I'm now starting to work on the Mac now, I don't have to worry about that because the Mac side working on Flash can now export with perfect alpha channels now. Where before on the PC side, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, who is it? Who is it?
Sorry, sound in the background. I just realized. My apologies.
Oh no, like you have a guest, you must bring them to the camera so we can say hello to them.
Oh no, that wouldn't be too good at all. Very kind of you to offer, though.
But yeah, so I forgot where it's going down. Oh, so favorite
Sorry about
films, yeah. Basil was probably my favorite one, even though the producer always had a hard on over me. I like that one a lot. Some films were miserable because, like, on one film you're considered a hero, next film you consider them. I'd be literally called, pardon the language, kids, bleep this out. I'd be called the worst fucking piece of shit that ever was walked out the swamps. The next film, I'm considered a hero again. I saved the day. Next film, you're called the worst piece of shit on the face of this planet. So it depends upon who the director is and the producers. You could be loved and hated. Um, uh, Sometimes I'll work in a film I didn't care about, but the directors were fun to work with, like Gary Traizel and Kirk Wise. They did like The Hunchback. They loved everything I did. So like I did all the old guys. Um, like Whitmore I did, and Cookie I did. I also had a lot of fun. They didn't yell at me when I put in gag scenes, like when John Pomeroy, who's like one of the most brilliant animators out there too. He was like the main animator of Don Bluth. He was doing the main character Milo, and we were both on the sequence where I was doing the old guy Whitmore, but he hadn't done his scenes of Milo yet. So I filled in the blank for him. I put Beavis and Butthead in there, and I put Beavis and Butthead in like a gown and an outfit, and I sampled the dialogue from Beavis and Butthead and made it work. So it looks like Whitmore is talking to these two degenerates. The directors thought it was so funny that they put it up, they cut it in the film and put it into dailies just so everyone could have a nice cheap laugh and all that. I used to love to put all kinds of like extra characters in films. Like I put the Animaniacs in the Hunchback, where like when all the gargoyles are looking down, put like Slappy Squirrel up there, Dot, Wacko Warner. Wacko Warner was rolling Quasimodo around in a wheelbarrow. Quasi was having a grand old time. Production was a little bit irritating because they thought I wasn't getting my scenes out in time. Like, well, I'm pretty fast. I think I can still get the scenes out and put some silly crap in there.
That's
Anyway,
awesome.
so yeah, Basil is my favorite. The other ones, like, it was a job. Like, even if it's film I absolutely hate, I do my best job at it. Just you just try to be professional. And you just kind of put your feelings about the film aside. Like I'm not really into princesses, but on the Mermaid did my best job on that one. I did the eels on that, and Ariel's sisters. Um, some of the scenes have tried. Oh, there's some fun stories there. So Jeffrey Katzmark, who doesn't have a sense of humor, I did a bunch of gag scenes on it. John Ron didn't know about the gags, so so they're all sitting in the theater watching the dailies. First gag scene pops up was when the sister all singing, and our sister Ari in the clam opens up. Well, Ariel's not supposed to be there, but I put Roger Rabbit wearing a dress. Ari, who? And Katzberg like, and he turned to John. That's I mean the final cut. Is it? I'm like, no, 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 no. Okay. Then a few scenes later, I got the robot from Lost in Space in there. Warning, warning. No, Jeffrey's turning to them like, "Are you trying to piss me off?" Like, "No, no, no, no. We'll talk to the person." And then like there's another gag hit, another gag. But the final gag was the very end. I did the scene of King Triton was waving this wand, this rainbow. So I replaced the rainbow because the effects department was going to do that. I put like "Eat it, Joe's." That's when John Muschie was laughing at me telling me the story, but like he said that I felt like he was going to kill me. It's like he just turned like and he didn't say anything, but he just scowled at him. And so my director notes was like, please remove Roger Rabbit, please remove Robot from Lost in Space, please remove Eat It Joe's, please remove the corset panties that you put on Flounder, please remove the explosive cigar gag that the eels did to Ursula and it blew up and she got her hair all like blown backwards and stuff. And so those are fun director. And I was like, okay, remove.
That's pretty crazy. I'd love to see that.
God, I'll have to dig those out. I got those. I think I got those digitally somewhere. Hopefully, because like been so long ago, it'd be a shame that they'd be all gone.
Have they ever been seen like publicly?
Publicly, I don't think so because back in those days, it was just videotape and stuff, and there's no real internet or anything, so there'd be no real way to get it out there.
That's a shame.
So I just did that all for fun, like my YouTube channel. I thought, like, purposely did not monetize it because I was reading up on how to do a YouTube page, and I read up that if you do not monetize, you'll be penalized. That the algorithm engine will not promote as like a new thing. Like, so that's fine for me. This is just like for like friends to be able to see like the last two shows I'm trying to monetize. I'm having to go through these hoops because like I know someone said like they're putting ads in your cartoons. Like what? I don't have it. Like so YouTube is now putting on ads on everyone's videos if you don't already have ads on them. Like, well, let me just put ads on them. I don't want to pay YouTube or have the money just go to them. So like I'm trying to figure it out. I'm waiting for the AdSense to be cleared. I'm not really sure how to do it. Like so the one says like on one video, congratulations, you made 0.05 cents. Like, oh, hey, I can go out and buy nothing with 0.05 cents on that. But I thought, well, if there's commercials on there, I might as well just see how to do the whole monetization thing. And if I do the monetization thing, it's like I'm gonna have to get figure out what I'm gonna do with the whole live action pot smoking. I may have to move all the animation to their own channel so it's nice and clean and crisp, and keep the pot smoking live action crap and like have like anime characters like music mutt or something like that. Stuff that's not all that appealing, just kind of like a funny gag. And
Okay, heck yeah.
but I forgot what the question was because I went down too many dirt roads there. But
I also had a question at some point. I think I've forgotten it.
oh god,
Oh
like
no.
I'm a horrible person to like interview because
No,
I'll
this
get
has
all
been fun.
hyped up. And like since I was really tired this morning when I wake up, I just guzzled down like a Diet Pepsi, try to give me some Super Saiyan strength to do this thing, so my brain is not firing right. Maybe some cannabis will solidify everything, but I shouldn't do that. Otherwise, I won't be able to answer anything.
I don't know. It might be more entertaining though. Got to give the kids something they enjoy.
If you want to talk to me on a day of cannabis, beers and cannabis, and I'll tell you the damnedest things, but probably won't be very G-rated.
I want to try
I'll
one
tell
of
you.
those. What were we talking about? Oh, we're talking about the beavers jumping in the acid and doing cocaine off of strippers' backs and stuff like that. Like, I'd love to give you some prompts and see where you go with them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but I don't really do. I only do cannabis at nights at times to help me sleep because like I've always been strict with bad nights of sleep. And someone said like cannabis is legal. Why don't you try? Like I've always been a Boy Scout. Like oh I don't know. It sounds like a bad thing to do, but it's legal. So let me try. So I went to the big suppository where the place is called. Like welcome. What would you like? I don't know. What do you got? Like well, we got CBD or THC. Well, give me the strongest of both. Think like you're trying to assassinate me, just so I can for science figure out what it is. Okay. So I never tried before. Oh my gosh, I have never experienced that. It's kind of like alcohol, but it doesn't make you feel nauseous. Like if you have too much booze, the world spins and you get
yeah.
nauseous. You want to throw up. This is like you get the wacky woohoos and you don't feel nauseous. Then it just wears off. Uh, it is phenomenal. Um, and so like I've been a big promoter over it, but I'm these guys that I can only take it at night. If I take it in the daytime, I'm non-productive. I can't work on stuff, and it screws up my voice. I get dry throat. Like you could hear one of the scenes of the first cartoon with Athena where she's talking to me in the room here, and I was done for the night. And cannabis to get the sleepiness, it's about 2 hours. So I had my big intake, my wackies, and all of a sudden I thought of just one more scene. I can't. I just have cannabis. I won't be able to do it. And my voice is all screwed. Like, well, let me try the voice. So I picked up mic and I read the line, but it sounded kind of like Athena had a little of a dry throat. I thought, I'm going to keep that. If anyone asks, like, oh, yeah, Athena was having a dry throat moment. So after that, we gave her some lemonade with about 2 shots of vodka. No, just some lemonade because her voice got all fouled up for that. And then it was really hard to work because, like, it was a simple scene. It was just a headshot. So I'm just aiming the head. If I had to do like body manipulation, like the feet, it would have been a bit of a struggle then because, like, my brain's just starts like, I want to sit back and watch cat videos now. I don't have to do anything. Yeah, but if you ever want to do like a drunken Zoom or Discord call, I do those with guys at the studios all the time. Might be able to swindle some of the studio guys in on one of those. You just say, "Hey, here's some other friends that want to join on," and like you could meet Gary Trisdale, who when he gets drunk, holy crap, he's fun to poke and prod of all the backstories of what was going on with Disney and stuff.
That sounds like
Uh,
fun. Somebody in the comments, by the way, said they would kill to see the Animaniacs. Oh, that was my question. That's what it was. Thank you, Grimlock. I appreciate that. Uh, so you've done some work on the newer Animaniacs as well. You said in the storyboarding. So
yeah.
I've watched a little bit of it. And I'm sorry, but I haven't watched a lot. I heard that they like
Oh,
got rid of like Hello Nurse. They got rid of all the, and it's not crazy. I get it, but how do you feel about that? Because that's like all these cool
like
tropes of
it,
Animaniacs
it,
are all popping out.
it goes back to this all this woke stuff that's destroying studios. Like when they did Space Jam, they tried to do the inclusivity and they got this director. I forgot his name right about, but of all directed him, all this comedies are vulgar exploitation films of women. Like,
Yeah.
aren't you glad you came? And you're looking under a girl's like butt, and other girls are big. And his sole reason to do Space Jam was to desexualize Lola Bunny. Uh, Dude, you do
People
that
love
by
that.
not changing the design. Just don't have the characters going gaga over and just have her as one of the gangs. And replace Lola's voice with a black actress just because they want to put black people in here. It's like, and the voice actor was heartbroken over this. Like, they eliminated Pepe Le Pew because he's a rapist. And I said, like, did you ever see his cock? Did you see a hump a character? No. In fact, there's cartoons where the female is chasing him after he gets desentenced and she gets sentenced and she's so he was sacrificed. Speedy Gonzalez almost got chopped, but Mexico City, God bless them, said like, "Don't you dare! He is a national hero here in Mexico," because they were going to get rid of him. Um, and they did a few things in the film that they're going this whole woke thing, and that critics heard about it before it came in. Of course, they heard about the design change of Lola Bunny. And I even told them when I first got on there, talking to Spike, who's the animation director, and Devin, who did the redesign. I was looking at the monster like, the critics are going to rave about this because of all the woke stuff. You are going to be lumped in there, like, and they just darted their eyes. They won't know. It's like, yes, they are. Like, well, that's just furries. No. This is not furries. I like, don't you watch YouTube and all the guys that do like rant about films? They're going to latch on this and they're going to destroy this film. And sure enough, they eventually found out about the design. They obliterated the film, and then it came out about the director wanted to desexualize Lola Bunny, and they started at the studio tried to the director started trying to attack furries, and that backfired on them. And then so when they did the Animaniacs, they're going down the same trail. They got rid of Hello Nurse because she's too busty. Now, uh, if it was someone that just chopped off their cock, that'd be perfectly fine then. But if it's a normal girl, that's evil. If it's a guy with big boobs, that's perfectly fine. Um, they remove so many characters, but they might bring them back now because um, Disney, who now owns Hulu, or who owns Hulu, that's why the price has been jacking up tremendously. Um, they kicked off all competition of animation, so Warner's lost a contract for Hulu. Hulu owns it's HBO or Showtime's like so they're like, fine, we'll put it on Showtime. So because of that, they're now talking about bringing back all the characters, like
That would be
Freakazoid
awesome.
and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they brought back Animaniacs, but they were trying to do it for the whole woke thing of not irritating the 0.02% of screechers on Twitter that scream about everything but don't pay for any content and destroys the film industry. So now studios are starting to wake up and like, yeah, this wokeism shit has got to go. We are losing billions of dollars. Like, I can tell you, so many people just lost their jobs on account of this because, like, they're being called bigots or sexist. Like, I'm just drawing Pepe Le Pew. It's you're a sexist and a bigot. I've been yelled at many times for stuff. Now I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just doing a cartoon. Like, so like that's why I did that chipmunk cartoon. The chipmunk cartoon is a little bit of my own history of dealing with some. I didn't know what an SJW was until I had a run-in with one. It was a guest of the studio, and it was like this big, huge guy with a baseball cap, and he's a friend of someone. And like, say, can you show my friend some animation? Like, oh, sure, I'm showing this. I'm joking around, all this kind of stuff. And eh, I just said, like, guy and all like that. He starts yelling at me at top of his lungs. I am not a guy. I'm a girl. Like, I didn't know if he was joking. The director of the studio's coming out. I'm like, the fuck is this? And and the owner of the studio is a Christian. And and I'm being yelled at for what the he wants me fired because I called him a guy. It's like, fuck you, wokeism. I will call you whatever you would like to be called as a courtesy. If you beat me to call you something, and no, go fuck yourself. It's like okay, you didn't know that I'm a cartoon lion. How dare you? I want you fired. I want you deplatformed. You can't be lying. Like, well, you can't be whatever it is that you're taking hormone blockers for either. Chopping your dick off. It's like you're living a fantasy. Do not beat people for your fantasy. And people are and so all these studios are kowtowing to this attitude. It's like, no, live your fantasy, but don't beat people for your fantasy. And always realize it's a fantasy you're living, and most people in America are really nice and kind. If you wanna go to a racist country, I can show you videos on YouTube, like, where the black basketball team is getting off the bus in China. These Chinese people foaming at the mouth are just yelling the N-word at them and throwing rotten fruit and vegetables, and they're, like, being pelted. I got some friends who are black, and they've gone to China, so, like, it was miserable. I would go over there, and some people are nice, and people start yelling the N-word at me and just, like, spitting at me and stuff, like, so if you wanna experience racism, go to a but here in America, we're pretty tolerant. Like I know some transgender people in the industry, like Darlie Brewster. She is amazing. She's the nicest person on earth, and his transfer or her transfer was amazing because like she used to be the guy's guy, neck beard, black hair in the face, long hair, drove hot rods, Camaros, like big block engines, wanted to get Roy Disney into like some drag race, and one day he just left the industry like, "I have to leave. There's a medical crisis that is happening to me." And he just left. We didn't know what happened for like years. We thought, "Oh God, he's got cancer. He's got cancer." Years go by, I get an email from like, "Hey, check out this website. Take a look at this girl." I looked at super attractive girl. I mean, a really attractive. Looks like a James Bond girl actress, Darlie Brewster. It's like, and like, what are you having me look at? Like, that's formerly Dave. Like, what? Like, what? And then at the studio Christmas party, Darlie comes in wearing a dress, and I'm talking to someone, and there's this girl going, and like, and I didn't know who it was, and she came like, "Hi, like, it's so great to see you." Like, "Hey, I'm real nice. I don't know who this person is." Like, "What studio did we work at?" I'm sorry, I'm really bad at faces and names. Like, "I'm Dave." Like, I'm like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" And I asked him all the question like, ow! And then he showed me on the smartphone, like, all the stories, like, how they bust up the skull, they removed the Adam's apple. He had a huge Adam's apple. Like, and they bust up his cheek, they removed a rib. They did an amazing thing. They made him for, like, I think it was $500,000. He looks
Damn.
like a showgirl. There's no way. It was only in the eyes that I can see it in the eyes, but amazing transformation. They did something to the hair. He already had long hair, But when he turned to the girl, they did something else to the hair. I don't know what it is, but it looks more feminine or something, or more fuller and richer. Amazing job. So like Darlie, I'll call Darlie a girl to the end of time. Nice person. This is something that she always wanted to do. Just kind of sad that had to be done late in life because she came from a family in Canada that it would have been frowned upon if she or he at the time would have talked about ever. And so I was like, it's a shame in our time that you can't do this until late in life because now Darlie is getting up there in age, but the surgery is still holding together and she still looks pretty good. But it's just a shame. But when people kick you in your nutsack and you have no idea about the pronoun game, I have no idea what pronouns are. You can't kick someone if they don't know your secret word. And so studios are now starting to realize that this has been a big mistake to do this because it's caused so much strife in the United States, the division it's caused politically. I can't even talk to any friends about politics. It's just insane. So studios that have lost billions of dollars are now starting to wake up. Netflix has gotten rid of all the woke employees. They're saying, if you're okay with the content we're going to show, welcome aboard. If you have problems with it, there's the door. Leave. Um, and I think Warner Brothers is going to be doing the same thing because, like this, I can't remember his name. The main executive that's chopping his head, like he's looking at all the woke stuff they put in the superhero films. Like this stuff is not bringing any money; it's a deficit by hundreds of millions of dollars. Like so, Batwoman canceled, kicked out. The other woke shows canceled, kicked out. All this gender swapping stuff, like where Thor is a guy one moment, now he's a girl. Batwoman, the Batman is now a black transgender woman. It's like, what the? No one's gonna watch this. People want good stories and good heroes. If you want a transgender, just invent one, but don't repurpose something. Like we'll take Celestia, we're changing Celestia, or a black transgender guy, and you're gonna like it, or you're a bigot. It's like we like our Celestia. What? Why are you doing this? This is new Celestia, and you're gonna like it. And people stop watching. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done with the Pony Show. And then the studio just calls you bigots. It's like, okay, now we're really not watching, and now we're gonna protest against this. So but that's a political conversation for some other times. It's not really political. It's rudeness of people. Like I have a fantasy of being a cartoon animal. People in the industry make fun of me all the time for it. I don't care. Even Darkwing Dork made fun of me on his show as one time. I was not harmed in the slightest bit. I've been called far more vile things in my entire life. So if he wants to rail on me, it's like fine. I'll be a safe harbor for him to like trash and bash and stuff. I've not seen the show in a long time, so I don't know if he still trashes me at all or not. But um,
I enjoyed these conversations, by the way. But my favorite bit is that you call friendship is magic the Pony Show. It's probably I'm gonna start calling it the Pony Show because it's really good. I really enjoy that.
well, it's like I don't know anything about the fandom. It's like
I
like
know.
like I said, the only thing I knew about I didn't even know about the term bronies until after I was visiting them on their pony sims, and the term brony got popped. Oh, something about the bronies that really pissed me off though. So like I'm wearing my cadence, and someone was asking me about a film story point, and so I'm there as cadence, and I'll explain. Oh well, I forget what the film. I think it was Jaws or something. So I said like, well, the main plot point of this is do this, and when the abs the scold me, how dare you curse on this sim like? And so I try to act like this. So what do you mean? I didn't say anything. Like you said that horrible word. Like what word? Plot. Like wait. Plot is it's a film in terms like. And then I was told that it meant but. And it's like, and then I broke from being cadence. Like I was like, all right, you bunch of sick weirdos. What other words did you appropriate that I don't? So that I learned about
Buck,
clopping. What
Clop,
what?
a buck is one. Buck, Clop, yeah, Clop is one of them.
Now what? Now does buck just mean the F word or?
Sometimes it's buck, but like fuck is also sometimes used to imply sex. Buck will be used for that as well.
Okay, because like I had no idea,
Oh, you
so I'm
haven't heard about
talking to
Buck
some,
either. Okay.
and to be scolded by like some admin, like that. Like there was a time when I even said like, like, they can use actual vulgar language at times. But I got scolded for another time when I think this pony might look really adorable if I made like a pair of panties for it. Like, how dare you say that? Like, I was like, is everyone here 4 years old? Have you been to a beach and seen a bikini at all? It's the same thing. Yeah, but panties. It's like, you're off my friends list. This is getting absurd.
Why have you not made an open pony yet? That's what I want to know. You know, there's like 50,000. Like, no joke. There's probably at least 20 different panty designs. Just saying. Like, open pony's free. You can make your open pony. You can do whatever you want with it. It's all open source. You can make it all custom.
Well,
What are you
I've
doing?
got my own. I just don't wear them a whole lot because the copy bonding is out of control. People now just brag they go to every sim, they copy everything right
Yeah,
now. So I
it's a
don't I
trend.
don't wear my stuff anymore. But I built all my own pony stuff, but I just don't dare wear it anymore.
Actually, a small tangent to that, Seth and I are putting together some articles to like highlight the pony community in Second Life. We've been doing it for a minute now. As I mentioned before, we have some 4chaners we brought in. We're trying to do like and I kind of mentioned this before. We're doing like a chronological lineup of like all the ponies. Uh,
Hmm.
if at all possible, either Seth and I, we'd love to sit you down and see some of your pony models that only you have and get pictures of them to put on the site.
Oh yeah,
Pictures just to show off the model.
yeah. Like I used to have my own sim, but after years of spending like 250 a month, like no, that's like a
Yeah,
car payment, and I
yeah,
just don't really use Second Life a whole life. Where now for VR chat, you can build your own lands, free to upload, free to have your own stuff. It's just different that it's always point of view, but when you use a VR goggles for the first time, like I told you about the first time, you'll spend the first 2 days staring at your hand like you're on a drug trip, like whoa, whoa. Like the first forest I made, I was like just wandering for like hours, like just like the scale, oh my gosh. And then I discovered the mirror, like, oh, a mirror with my reflection. I go, brr. Yeah, many embarrassing nights.
that's You make me want to. I haven't tried it yet. I really want to try VR chat now. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, if you go with, it'll work with desktop, but it'd be like Second Life, but you can't get the camera out, and you can only see yourself. So it's like, I like Second Life better because Second Life is much more advanced. VR just the whole shtick is just wearing the
Right,
goggles.
right, exactly.
And like I built a whole bunch of lands, um, and my friends have. So like you can come out of those. They're basically safe. I don't allow uh, like if anyone has a friend of a friend, they better be vetted because we've had a lot of people that have friends of friends come over and they just start trolling, and it's like, I'm about ready to throw you off my friends list unless you get your friends under control. Because there's a lot of copy botting there. And like, I want to make sure the lands are safe so no one has to worry about building their brand custom avatars, having them stolen. Because what people do is they steal your avatar, then they sell it on Gumroad or one of those other types of things. So you can sue them, but
Yeah,
it costs about $5,000 to $10,000 to get a case started. You'll spend about $25,000 to get the thing, and over an avatar site. It's not financially worth it unless the lawyer thinks we can rate them for about $100,000 or something. So,
and then if
like
they
when I
have
hear
that even so.
yeah, and like when I hear furries, like, I'm gonna sue, someone's like, you need to get a relationship with a dentist first before a lawyer because that lawyer is going to rape whatever penny you have out of. There are some pro bono ones that are really good, but pro bonos will only work if it's a shut and closed case where they know they can make a lot of money. And then the pro bono ones will be like absolute sharks. Um, but yeah, so like, yeah, if you ever, I built tons and tons of avatars in Second Life. The pony ones were like getting close to some of the last ones I've done because at that point I was starting to have my fill of Second Life because the G-rated scenes of the. I mean, I don't mind like a romantic. I am like, oh, you look so lovely, but when you get some of the really vulgar ones, like chewing on your uh, all that kind of stuff, it's like Yeah, and I'm just not into that. It's like I like the purity of a cartoon character. Like to me, a cartoon romance is like a picnic basket on a blanket and all that kind of stuff. And then, oh, some ants are carrying away the pie. And that to me is like cartoon is romance, but not chewing on the unmentionables of the other characters. Like, I don't want to think the characters have those. Like I would like think of like a innocent plush toy where if they showed you their butt, there's nothing there. It's just it's just a cartoon butt, no holes, no openings, and safe and sane. And
Just a cartoon butt. That's
yeah,
gonna be the caption for the interview, by the way. Chewing on the unmentionables. That's good. I
just
like that.
just a cartoon butt. Yo, no no extracurricular attachments.
Somebody asked, "What did I join into? Making out with mirrors?" LOL.
Yeah, the mirrors. Oh, that sounds like a 4chaner. Yes, VR. When I first started in VR chat, is like a drug trip. Where you stare at your hands like whoa, whoa, and you wander around, and then you discover the mirrors. And because I was told that there's mirror dwellers, and because VR chat has no way to do the external third-person camera to see your because most people want to look at their characters. That's where they pick a character. Like I like that character, but when you're wearing it, you can't see it. And when you build your characters, it's really a pain because one of the worst parts to weight paint in a blender is the butt and the crotch. Because like sometimes vertices don't get a perfect weight paint, and so when you're moving about, like this like spaghetti string will come out because this one vertice is not weight painted, and and because you can't see your butt, it's really hard. So like you have to have a friend like, can you look at the butt and the crotch of the character so you're lifting the button all night? No, it looks fine. Oh, wait a minute. There's one vertice here. Like the guys that make all the really nice ones in VR chat, like the Northern Dragons and the Wicker Beast, they spent a long time to perfect those, getting the pose just right, getting the weight painting just right. Since I'm not doing this for a living, it's like a hobby that I do, and so I let a lot of sins slip by because like, yeah, I'm not gonna fix that. Let that go by. But when the weight painting is right, it can foul up the entire avatar. So it'd be nice if it was like a third party camera. So when you see the mirror, it's like, oh, a mirror. I can actually see the character and like, oh, yeah.
It
So
sounds
I
like fun.
understand the mirror dwelling.
Mirror dwellers.
I'm a mirror dweller. I
That's a
should
term I
I
shan't
should
soon
get like
forget.
a badge.
I want to give it a try. I was curious, like I mentioned the other day. I haven't seen much of it, but on some different VR chat boards, I was interested in different cartoon animal models, and I had seen the otter, and I was curious
Oh
on
yeah.
like how there's like height differentials and stuff, how that all
Oh
works, and because I know
yeah.
otters are tiny little things, so
Yeah, the otter in world is about 3 feet high. So yeah, so it's really adorable and small. Oh, and there are some, I think, professional game guys that will build these levels and stuff. They're just astounding. You walk in, they're scripted. It's like a ride. It's some theme park with amazing stuff. It's like, how do they build this? It's pretty astonishing. Uh, oh, that sun. That's why I'm wearing my sunshades because like you don't see it, but the glare is like really harsh. If I
oh,
go,
we see
whoops,
it. The entire side of your head there is lit up.
but like even here, it's like it's really bright on the.
Oh,
So
okay.
like that's why I'm wearing my sunshades and just to get that Finch Neil thing going too. But
Okay, I'm surprised
so
you don't have like the headband or whatever on. Like you're
oh
you're you're missing out on the character.
yeah, my hippie headwear here. God, oh, should be coming to have to retie it here. It's my Vietnam hippie uh, mystical look. I tried to learn how to draw to make a turban, but I failed it. So I'm like, oh, let's do a simple knot in the back. There we go. Yes.
Good
And I'm ready
dude.
to take Athena on a ghost hunt.
Should you look like the type of dude I'd smoke a doobie with, bro. That's real chill.
Well, 10 or 11 o'clock at nights. Yeah. In the middle of the day, no, I would digivolve into incoherent mon.
Big Digimon fan, are you?
Uh, Not really. I kind of like the Renamon character drawn a certain way. Like I watched the Digimon show and tried drawing a couple of characters, and then I just what if I drew the Renamon like throwing some Hanna-Barbera in there with Disney and like oh, look at that. And so it's a completely different looking kind of a character. Like, well, that's kind of neat. Did the same thing with that Vanny character that I told you about. Or that's probably why you're. Well, that was what screwed up your recording last time because when I did that VC screen OBS, I popped the character up and but like I took Vanny from Five Nights from Freddy Krueger's or wherever it is, and I drew her like a Tiny Toons type of a character, like a Lola Bunny type of character. Like, oh, that's adorable. And so I made the avatar of that character, and it was like, how did you take that ugly character and make her look adorable and sexy? Like, I just injected Lola Bunny in there, some like Tiny Toons in there, a little bit of the Animaniacs in there, stirred it up, and now she's adorable. She's like an adorable villain.
Uh, Actually, at some point, would you be willing to show off those models again? Would that by chance be all right? Would that be
Oh
too much
yeah,
work here for
but
you?
you mean through the VZ phase?
Right.
Now, the last time I did that, the OBS side of it screwed up your recording. Remember?
I don't think that's what it was. I don't. I
Oh,
believe what it was is I had I think I had fixed it. I had a keyboard on my keyboard set up to as like a mute for my mic.
oh, okay,
And I didn't realize it. I'm assuming that's what had happened because I in the video I'm messing with my keyboard and then the audio cut out. I'm using some weird
okay.
interface to like split up all the different audio channels. Um,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like I can pop them on now. Cause like I was kind of shocked that it because like we wear those things all the time on the other Discord channel where everyone's got their models on, but they're
Sounds
playing
like a
video
lot of fun.
games.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds like a lot of fun.
and and like I was gonna build an Athena model for VR chat primarily to use for the VC phase. So
Yeah.
when the 4chan PonyCon comes up in June, I was gonna talk to everyone as Athena. If I could found a voice changer that was good. Like this one called Voice Mod just sounds robotic and terrible. Um, like and what I'm using now is Adobe Audition, and I just go down to pitch. I just increase the pitch only by 3, and I touch no other settings. And it's about the closest thing I can get to make it sounding real, which I was really pleasantly pleased when w- some of the comments of the first show was like, "It's about time he's using a real female actress and some that is perfect for that character." And I was really kind of pleased. I just smiled. I did not tell anyone for like the longest time until I think someone figured out by slowing down her voice and they heard my ugly voice like, "He's using a voice changer." And I got these emails from Ponies angry I was using a voice mod. Like, I hate to say I'm not using a voice changer. I'm using Adobe Audition. I'm just pitching it a little bit. Those voice changers sound terrible. Like I was told that voice mod is the best one, but I tried playing with the tools. I can't get to where it sounds not mechanical electronic. Um,
Yeah.
but hopefully I might be able to find something, but it takes me at least about 2, 3 days to build a good avatar set up for VR chat. Once it's set for VR chat, then I can reverse it, and then you get this other download. You put it into Unity, drop the model there, and set it for VC face, and then you use OBS. And there's a little bit of trickery, but you can do it. And if I can find a good voice change, then I can address everyone like, "Hello, everyone. Glad you can make it." Do all that girly type of voice stuff. And oh, one person said that was really funny in the I was pointing out by spec. So like, oh, someone said something funny in the 4chan. So like someone was saying like Athena is Lustra's voice is really hot. Someone else says, you know, it's done by a 50-year-old guy, right? And and he said like that makes it even more hotter.
That sounds like a four channer. That sounds like a four channer. Um, I have a there's a question that came in for you if you think you can handle it.
Right, bring it on.
All right.
After the 4chan point, I was asked like really embarrassing things, news of things. So like bring it on. I just want to hear it.
So this one is from Lovely Promise. Uh, they had said, "I'd love to know what your inspiration was for going down the animation career. As a child, did you know this is what you wanted to do, or did you have other dreams and aspirations?" Uh,
Oh,
and she complimented you and said you're a wonderful inspiration to many people, and she wanted to thank you for all the hard work and everything you've worked on.
that's really a beautiful thing to say. Well, thank you much. Well, actually, I was an accident in animation. I got D minuses in high school art. Teacher hated me. I was gonna get an F, but I did a pic drawing of him slaying the entire class with a whip, and that so warmed his heart, he gave me a passing D minus because
That's
he wanted us
crazy.
to like he wanted us to paint the Mona Lisa and do these. Like, I don't know how to paint because I'm not an artist. I've just been drawing cartoon characters. I got A pluses in algebra, A plus in police sciences because I want to be a police detective like Columbo, smoke a big stinky cigar, and interrogate all those celebrities over and over again with repetitive questions. So friends of mine said, like, why don't you play at Disney? Like, I don't know anything about animation. I just draw this stuff like fun. So I thought, well, I'll give it a shot because I was just graduating high school and I was going to be intending on going to the police academy and all that. So I got 5 drawings, 3 fox drawings, like the fox you see on my YouTube channel, and 2 Cylon warriors from Battlestar Galactica at the time and just pencil drawings, no color, and just a simple 5-line sentence because I didn't think I thought it was gonna be just thrown in the trash. Like I just graduated, blah 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 blah. At the very end, it's like if you don't uh, care for the drawings, no need to waste this money on postage. Just throw them away. Goes by, I get a call from Ed Hansen, who's the manager of Disney at the time. It's like, yes, we'd like to hire you. And I thought it was a gag for my mom's order. Like, yeah, 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 right. What's your address there, pal? And he read off the address like, this really is Disney. So they hired me the very next week. Had to get a work permit from high school because I was too young to go into a job like that. And I got under the radar of the animation union because if I was 18, I would have had to pay an extraordinary sum of money, like $2,000. At that time in 1979, it's like a huge amount of cash only just to forecast to join the animation union. So they legally couldn't charge me that opening fee. And they've always regretted me for that horrible thing I did to be hired at the age of 17. So it was a purely an accident that I got in there. I'm just one of those guys, I just love cartoons to death. I just love animation. And I think I'm going to hit the ejector seat early and retire early. I checked with the union, can I retire at my age? Like, yep, you can retire with full benefits. Like, ooh. And I'll just do cartoons for everyone to watch for free until the day that I drop. I'll do some shorts. I can probably do like a feature or two. Um, and just do stuff for people like or hate or do whatever that they want. Um, One thing I learned is like never be offended if someone hates you or makes fun of you. Like after the stuff I've been called my entire life, like what Darkwing Dork said about me is nothing compared to what I've been told. It's like really that's all you got, just hypocrisy to tell at me, but I'm screwing ponies when it's not even in there. Like, fine, I'll accept that. And you can keep making fun of me to the day I drop. I don't care. So, like, if you want to be doing films, like I put it at the end of the Chipmunk film, um, you don't need a studio or recording studio or anything. You don't need a big contract. You can just do it on your own or with friends, and you can make films. The only advantage of film is that you get paid a lot of money, but right now in the animation industry, there's not a whole lot of jobs, and the colleges are pumping out more and more kids, and there's no jobs. So um, I always try to tell the kids just to love animation for the passion of it. If you can't get a job in the animation industry, that doesn't mean you can't keep still just doing your own films. And then with programs like Flash or Toon Boom, where you can do a puppet, you can knock out the scenes faster than if you to hand draw 'em. Some of the students, but I'd like to hand draw. Like, well, you can still hand draw, you just won't be able to do them as fast. Um, but just keep animation like a close passion in your heart. For me, like I just always want to be a cartoon character myself and live in a cartoon world. And it's geeky, but I've been like that since a small kid. So now with YouTube and learning Flash and Premiere and After Effects, I can do all of it. I don't need a studio. And now I've got a lot of studio people ask me, "How did you do that?" and with no budget, like, actually, like, that's my furry trade
Your
secret. What I
furry trade secret. That's great, and you
yeah,
got an army of bronies to support you do to whatever you do. So that helps. Um, that
yeah,
was a good
the
question.
furry, yeah, the furry trade secret thing just made me laugh. So like I use that term now. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, back when I was first started the second, I wanted to learn how to make an avatar, and so when I would go to like an avatar maker, I'd say, "How did you use like real simple thing of like doing like the eye blink, and how did you put the script in there?" Like, well, I can't tell you that. That's my furry trade secret. I'm like, seriously, you're a college student. Your instructor told you how to do that. You half-wit. I can go to YouTube right now and find out how to do it. Well, I can't do that, so I thank you for your help. And so then I learned how to do it. Then later, some of them would ask me, how'd you do that? Like, that's my furry trade secret. You're going to go to YouTube and find it. But usually everything they would ask me is like the design sense. Like, I can't show you that. That's just my personal design sense. Unless I wave uh, a magic wand and instill you like how I'm doing something.
You've
But
got one of those?
magic wands?
Yeah, you have a way to like instill the. I could use some of that if you got it.
Yeah, it's a Cintiq pen thing.
It's very nice.
But your turnaround looks really nice. Like if you never done a turnaround before, don't worry about looking bad. Like uh, bad drawings teach you. It's like sailing a boat. When you hit a rocky shore, you know to steer clear of that one, and that's how you get better. Like so, never fear that you've done something bad. But when I saw your character turn, it's like, oh, like it could use work here and there, but just overall, it's a very good first starter attempt there. So
It's
never
very
feel like,
kind.
oh, it's bad, and it's like, um, I tell the students like when some students will say like, you're kind of cringe. Like never say cringe because that puts you're putting yourself on a platform like you're the arbiter of what is good and bad. Like, what if I came to you as an instructor and said 1/10 of that to you that your film was cringe? It would destroy you, and you'd think I'd be the world's biggest asshole. So there is no cringe. In fact, the word cringe is now out of use. It used to be like something that was socially like unacceptable or purposely bad humor to get you to get oh, but not something that is like, oh, it's geeky or something. But so like I don't despair anyone's art. Like the 4chan thing, they had me in a panel where they wanted me to help bash people's their personal pony things or
Oh,
their
the
characters.
OC, the bad OC contest. See, everybody does those. That's a popular
And
thing.
and they were doing that, and I'm just being kind of real quiet, and I'm just, like, shaking my head, and the mom's like, "Aren't you gonna say anything?" Like, I said, "I can't do that as an instructor." Like, I try to inspire people to do better, like, I can't tell if someone's, like, purple and green pony is bad. It's what their heart desires, so, like, I can't ever do that, and then they realized that they felt bad about that, and they stopped the panel because, like, I said, "That's just kind of a dick thing to do." Like, I would never destroy someone's dream, um, because, like, I've had that done to me so many times that I'm not gonna dispense that out. Yeah, I've been in the animation industry, and I've got some years on my belt of experience, but I learn things all the time still to this day. And it's like, I learn things from fans, like, a fan will draw something like, "Oh, that's really a neat way that they did that." Um, so like I will never say, their drawings are cringy or bad. Like I was like, no, well, look, they may be not up there in talent, but they're drawing their passion. So always draw your passion and don't give a rat's ass what anyone says about what you're drawing. If you're drawing something that is not as skillful as like the person that you look up to, um, never feel like your stuff is inadequate. Just follow your passion and that's what matters.
Heck yeah, that's wonderful. I think a lot of people in the community could learn a little bit from that. That's really awesome.
Like I've had some fans throw the like in VR chat, I've had all out yelling arguments with some of these little shithead fans that's come to me to start a fight, and they know who I am from my avatars. I said, if I said 1/10 of what you did to me back to you, You think I'd be a flaming asshole. I want you to think about that. And that makes them even more angry, and they start yelling at me. And finally, I just have to ban them off the land. It's like, what is your problem? You want to get to know me, and you're insulting me? It's like I could never imagine going to someone's pony character. It's like that's a piece of shit. It's like you'd be just a flaming jerk to do something just like that. So ignore everyone. In fact, people like that that do that, cast them out of your life because they're just doing it just to get clickbait, to be looking hip, to get brownie points from their not friends, but from their allies. And those people will be torn apart the moment they do something with their allies find cringy, and they'll be torn apart. Anyone that badmouths you behind your back, they're not your friend, they're an informant. And they're telling the 4chaners how stupid you are. And eventually the 4chaners, yeah, they're stupid, but why do you keep hanging out with these people? I'm doing that to be an informant. Yeah. And, yeah, well, how do we know you're not doing the same thing to us, to them, which those types of people generally always do. So if you have something like that, kick them out of your life. And maybe they'll learn a life's lesson out of that, that they'll learn, yeah, if I act like that, I'm not gonna have any more friends. Like, so it's kind of a valuable thing. If you force them out of your life, they have a chance to learn from that. And if they come back a better person, then you can open your arms then uh, to them. But it's amazing how many furries and the bronies on 4chan try acting like trolls because they're trying to get yuckity yucks out of their friends. It's like, okay, you can yuckity yuck at me all you want, but I will never allow you in my life because like that's just shitty behavior. Anyways, yeah,
No, I mean it's well
but
said.
yeah, so don't let anyone discourage you. You are not drawing a bad pony. Whatever colors you like, whatever character you like, whatever the powers or spells, don't anyone tell you you're drawing something cringy or bad or evil. The people who are doing that are, I'll be blunt, they're fucking assholes. Um, so just follow your passion.
Heck yeah. I do have a few more questions for you if that's all right. I know we're going into like hour 53 here. Um,
Hard drives are steaming. Can we end this?
no, 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 not at all actually. As I said, we can keep this going. If you wanna live stream like an entire work session, we'll sit here and watch it. Um,
Yeah, I'll be starting work tomorrow. Like, I think I should have the energy to get back to work. Like, I didn't work at all this week because, like, today I was like, okay, I know my body's repairing after it was the food poisoning or it was some weird minor flu. I was over it, but today when I woke up, I'm like, I could barely move. So before this interview, I just downed a Diet Pepsi, hoping that caffeine was going to give me a little bit of strength here to do this. So hopefully tomorrow I can get back because I have to do another hard complex, well, not really hard. Um, the cat is gonna be holding the mouse and going, "Mm, mm, mm," and I'm trying to think of a way to simply do it. Like when Athena jumped uh, onto the chest of the raptor, like, "I'm so glad to see you." That took an hour just to get her attached. Like, so she jumps when when she attaches on the layers in Flash, she's above the Raptor. So that means now I have to take some of the Raptor's parts and pieces, put it on her model pack, take up some of hers, put it down here, put these up and down. So like this, like taking things apart and wrapping them around just so they can do the impact. Then when she jumps off, she jump starts. Then at that frame, I have to unwind everything, put all the parts and pieces back together again. And it's like, it's not hard, but oh my gosh, it takes like an hour just to like, okay, this has to go over here. The forearm of the thing has to go around here, but the back leg has to be over here. And it just takes a long time because like there's a lot of flash animators that are far better than me because I'm a novice flash animator, so I don't think I'm a super flash animator. I break models, I destroy those models. I would probably never been allowed to work on the actual pony show because when I do a leg scramble, I got legs breaking all over the place. I'm not worried about that nice smooth line that they do. All my limbs are like snapping a little place and all that. And the director like, damn it, Snatch Flame, would you stop breaking the model? That's the only way I know how to do it. You're fired. Get out.
that's great. I mean, it comes across and it looks great. I think that's all that matters, right?
Yeah,
And
it's like,
don't let them fool you. Some of those some of the in the pony show, as we're now going to call it, it's there's some stuff in there that doesn't look right at all.
well, a big problem is that student in Canada, they source out all around the world. They put some stuff in the Philippines, all the places like Korea. So a lot of the animators or directors have to go over like art all the time. Like even the model's built, at times you have to do like a custom mouth shape, and that's left to the animator to do. And that's where things can get really sticky there at that point. So the Canadians have to go back and like adjust scenes all the time. And so the best ones are probably done in-house there. I suspect like the Canterlot wedding was done in-house. And so the other episodes you find they're not quite there. They're probably done in some other part of the world. And then when they come back, they have to do like a lot of fix and repairs, or sometimes they'll fix them in-house because it was the same exact thing when we did the Tom and Jerry show. We were working with one of the studios that did the Pony show or the FIM show, and when I was talking to him, like I didn't know that they did the show at all, and I was just talking to him on the phone, on Zoom, all that. Yeah, I do all my own animation, YouTube, and some of the animators. Oh, that's really funny, and and all that. And then like the My Little Pony show, he came, oh, well, we did that show. Like, oh, you did. And then I said, like, I got to know how did you Celestia's made? I don't understand the wavies in the colors, and they're inside the thing. Like, oh. And so the one person like, I can send you a model, just don't let it leak out. And so I promised that I would delete it. But there's a fan built model that looks almost exactly like as if they just copied the original ones. But when I open it up, it's like I dug in the head in the ass. It's like, that's ingeniously simple. Oh my god, I can't believe that. And so after I did that, I was tempted to do like a Warner Brothers like no, actually I did the Warner Brothers script. I was tempted to use like no, no, no. I said I was going to delete, so I went delete.
Yeah, the
What
fan
else
would have
can
lost
do?
their mind if that got out for sure. You should take
Oh
the
yeah,
fan made one and do it because that would be okay, right? I mean,
yeah. Like I I had a copy of the fan one. I forgot what site. It was like DeviantArt. Someone built a Celestia, a
yeah,
Luna,
probably the
and
Vector Club or
and
something.
and I downloaded the Celestia. I was looking, is this fan built? And so I brought it into the studio to the Flash experts there in this Renegade. Can you tell this is fan built was real? And they opened up like, hmm. And this guy's been in Flash for like a long time. He's like, wait a minute, double click, and he goes inside the head. I can't tell. Double click. It wasn't he got to the nose and he saw the one vertice thing that you put the anchor points to cause like the bends and curves. He said, ah, bam, there we go. This is fan me. Like, how? I don't understand. Like, well, you see, like the original Celestion does like a sharp end point. This one has like a slight roundness because you're just bending this. And it's like, what? If you say so. It's like he was looking for any clue, but he says like, "Whoever built this knew their stuff." Like, he said, like, "I could have sworn that this is the original Celestia model. So if you want a good Celestia model that looks just like the real one, blam, just get that one. It's just as good. It's got the weight, everything is exactly the same." It's like, whew.
I talked to the one of the directors of the Pony Show earlier, Big Jim, um, and I had brought up that I had heard talks of like the issues with Flash and what they had been having. And, he imagines that probably happens a little bit before him. He's like they just they don't tell him about anything financial unless it really is important for him to know about it. Um, and it's likely while he was director, if it was something like that, he probably would have heard about it, but he had no idea. So he's thinking that's like earlier when that had taken place, like maybe in the first
Yeah,
like 3 or 4 years. Um,
yeah, well, like that happened to us on the Tom and Jerry show there too. It's like it just
oh yeah,
it wiped out an entire episode. The
terrifying.
like uh, like when they did the animation, it came to our studio. Going to our servers, it's now a different version of Flash. Like usually when studios start a project, everyone stays in the same version, no one updates. But Adobe has this nasty thing. It's sometimes if you don't check, it automatically updates you, and you're supposed to turn that off. So like anytime you start something, like when I started that episode with uh, the Jurassic Park one. I started it right as Space Jam started, and then Space Jam hit. It's like, oh god, I couldn't really finish it till like about a year later. It's like a 2 month long project. Adobe was trying to update stuff, so I had to keep stopping it and all that because like you never want to change the programs in mid swing because bad things can happen. Like Adobe Audition, that I do the sound stuff. When I would use the pitch by +3, works fine most of the time, but every now it causes the speaker where the sound goes. Blah, 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 blah. It's like the voice is jumping from speaker to speaker, and I can't control that. It's like they destroyed that. They also wrecked a lot of stuff in Premiere for the green screen, like I said. But at least Flash now on the Mac side is able to export alpha stuff correctly now. Or on the PC side, sometimes it'll work and sometimes it didn't. So the way I would have to get it to work was I would put a color card in back of like Luster's Athena, like a different color a color that's far from something that they'd have on Luster's. I think I tried like a very obscure purple, and Athena I have to use I think I used all like green on her. And still with them, when you eyedropper that color out, it it alters the colors of the characters a little bit, and you can't solve it. So that's when a lot of the bronies is like, oh, we noticed that the colors of lustrous change in the back of the Jeep for like about 5 cents. Yeah, I'm surprised you guys caught that. Yeah, that's a Premiere Alpha channel problem that they've got going there. But this last one, because I did it on the Mac side, when the Mac store guys like I was telling my problems, I'm just like, well, have you thought about trying a Mac? Because I'm told that Flash is a little bit more stable on a Mac. Like I was kind of dubious about it. I was like, well, just take this home. I bought that Mac Studio with the M M1X Max chip or something like that. There's the Ultra, but I didn't want to spend $4,000. Like, well, so it's about the $2,000. And he said, like, if you don't like it for any reason, whatever the reason is, 2, 3 weeks, bring it back, no guilt, and we give you your money back. Okay, I'll try that. I had it on steadily for 3 weeks straight. I didn't even turn it off. It never crashed. Like, and then a lot of the functions worked, like scale of stage, like your pen line. Like when you scale back, it does exactly what it's supposed to. It scales your line down and it scales your line up. But with the old on the PC side, I had to like zoom in so uncomfortably close just to do the final line. And needs to zoom out. Oh, I get the proportions wrong. Scale down, zoom in again. So the Mac side is working well on that, and it pumps out the alpha channel correctly. Um, it does a lot of the functionality that the PC side should be doing. So I think Adobe just doesn't care about Flash anymore because studios stopped using it because they lost millions of dollars of like screw ups and stuff. So people just started moving on to Toon Boom Harmony. But now studios are getting tired of Toon Boom Harmony because their prices are so outlandish that it's a huge budget out of their. If you get it monthly for the Toon Boom Premium, it's like I forgot, it's like 100 something or $200 a month. If you buy it outright, it's 2,000, but they don't upgrade it or anything like that. So studios are just kind of really irritated about being held captive by these high cost programs. Now Blender comes in. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Blender is now kind of the savior of Hollywood because people are tired of paying exorbitant sums of money for Maya. So Ready Player One, half of it was done on Blender because studios are starting to experiment with this and they're putting money into Blender because they don't want to spend like exorbitant sums of money for every single workstation and every person that's working at home. It jacks up the price. It was like maybe like $50 a month. Okay, but thousands and thousands of dollars. So studios are putting money into blenders. Now Blender is now putting 2D animation in, and now people are experimenting with doing
I saw
puppet
that.
animation. And so the puppet animation, you can do it, but it's a little clunky. So they're working on how to perfect it. And when they do that, it's going to be adios muchachos to Harmony then. A free program is going to do something far better than the paid one. So that'll be a place to go to if you really want to get an animation, but you can't afford Toon Boom Harmony and Flash. If you don't want to pay the $70 a month that I'm paying and it's broken, um, it's like you'll on the PC side, Flash will crash about 7 times a day if you're drawing. If you're doing the puppet animation, it'll be stable. If you're drawing in it, be prepared to be screaming the F word a lot all day long. And at least it has a merciful crash. When it crashes, it does the same thing all the time. all the panels, like where it says like your tools and your picture, all turn black. So you have one command you can do left and do it quick. Control save. So when you start a drawing, just save it immediately right off the bat. Make like a save as and title and everything. So when you get to crash, just hit save, start. Sometimes it crashes, you have to hit Control Alt Delete to pull the task manager. You have to do a hard shutdown because it locks up your entire computer. So studios have gotten tired of Flash. Now they're getting tired of Toon Boom Harmony. They're praising it still, but when something comes by that's better and it's free, I think
Yeah,
Toon Boom Harmony is going to be scrambling to find customers.
that's a no-brainer. The freeware seems like a good place to go. I've played around with it a little bit. I mean, it's either that or sail the seven seas, and unfortunately,
Oh,
studios don't have that option, that
yeah, like
luxury. That's a lot of fun.
I tried playing Star Citizen, stepped on my ship, it blew up like, meh, that's no Star Citizen for me. It turned off.
That sounds about right. Um,
That is my favorite game to play. Just you get in your ship, you float just off right next to the space station, Margarita, and you just read the pains and woes. Everyone's like, my ship juice blew up. No, listen, I was carrying a box on my ship. I slipped a banana peel. I cracked my skull open. I'm in jail now. Like, ho, 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 ho. And I just typed, welcome to Star Citizen. I hope you enjoy your time here.
it sounds great. Did you know? I don't. I only found out about Maya's whole puppet thing, the 2D animation side of it recently, um, and I was surprised to find out that South Park. That's how they
Yeah,
like. That's their pipeline, and that's how they got it to go so quickly. Is they use Maya for everything.
yeah.
That's
I've
crazy.
been, yeah, like I was told like years ago, I'm like, what? That'd be a natural flash. They using, well, but to
My,
do all the 3D stuff,
yeah,
like the doors.
exactly.
It's like, hmm,
Trickery.
yeah.
Trickery is what that is. But yeah,
Oh,
Flash. I always thought it was like Flash or like I know like Family Guy and Simpsons and all those they use Toon Boom, um, but I never thought Flash or I never thought Maya for any of the bigger productions like the 2D productions. But that was a pretty shocking thing for me to find out.
oh
I
gosh,
thought this
yeah.
whole time they've been doing the cutouts and using cameras and filming the cutouts and moving them on paper and stuff. That's what I thought they've been doing this whole time. It's crazy. Is that a
Yeah,
little too vulgar for you? Do you like those types of cartoons, or are they just
oh
too
yeah,
simple for you, or
oh
like
yeah,
a
like okay, well, like bathroom humor, I can laugh at hysterically if it's in the right context of film. But you start putting farts in like Bambi, no. But like South Park, perfectly fine. I'm laughing my ass off over that. But when a cartoon character is like wholesome and and it makes you inspired, like a childhood like dream, like I would never take especially now, I would never take Athena and put a vulgar fart gag all around it because like it would just destroy the character. Like it would just destroy. I wouldn't want to wreck anyone's dream. If someone wants to think that Athena is their his waifu, I don't want to destroy or rob that. So like, but you can put fart gags in like when I did furryfans.com where you're doing like dumpy, weird, mad magazine like characters of like really weird people. You can do that stuff all the time and it's hilarious. But when it comes to cartoon animals and appealing type stuff, like oh no, I steer clear of all that type of stuff. And
So if you would like, I think we're getting at about like 2 hours, 2.5 hours of
oh,
recording here.
okay, do
Um,
you want to wrap it up or?
if you would like, I could wrap it up and we could do like an official ending here for the podcast. If you want to stick around for a couple minutes after and chat with everybody in a little bit less structured format here, that's okay too. Um, but we can move
Yeah, that
things just officially on the podcast to a close. That way, the audience can go do things like that are watching it in the future. They can go and have the rest of their night to
oh,
do
in the
whatever.
future. I'm speaking to you from the past.
Oh yes, we're not releasing this for 40 years, so it's
It's a
gonna be
time
fun.
capsule.
It's a time capsule, exactly.
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
plan.
Snatch Flynn. He's a weird SOB. We don't like him. Don't like him at all. His weird ass hair.
We got this guy in here. He's a Snatch fan, and
Oh.
he lives in a cartoon world. Do you see in cartoon as well? That's what I'm curious about. Like I feel like that's your reality.
Well, I daydream a lot about it when I'm in the bathtub. When I do, it's like almost a zen, like I don't know what meditation is. Like some people say you blank your mind, some say you're concentrating something, some so when I'm in the bathroom, I think it's a form of meditation. I'll just sit and soak in a bathtub for like up to an hour. I drift into a cartoon world and just kind of live it out. And sometimes you just let your brain fill in the blanks, almost like a rendering engine. It's like the holodeck. You just pick the character you want to be, pick the land that you want to go into, then you enter. And the best way I do it is like I'm entering as just an observer, like almost like you're going to Disneyland. Like if you can keep yourself down from being the center of attention, like because your main thing is that your brain wants to be the center of attention, like the rock star. But if you can keep yourself as a nobody, you just enter, like going to a big, one of my big ones I had that last like 2 hours. Like I went into like, okay, I picked the world Zootopia. Theme was um, it wasn't burning. Oh no, it was the roadwear conventions that they have out here in California. They're really kick ass. Like it's called um, something like Wasteland Weekend or something like that. You can pull up on the internet. They build an entire town, middle of the desert that looks like roadwear. You're not allowed to go in there unless you're in costume. All the cars are done up, the sets, everything. So it's okay, Zootopia, um, that convention, going in as a nobody, a squirrel holding a big can of Coke, and you just observe things. And then if you do it just right, your brain will kind of fill in the blanks. You see, like all the kids are laughing, having fun, and you're enjoying the entire spectacle and stuff. Like the music is playing. Um, some of the adults with the kids are like just tore up their t-shirts just so they can walk in there, and they threw some like dirt while the kids are like fully decked out with spiked shoulder pads. And so I do that a lot. Uh, uh, or I try to pretend I'm cuddling with like some character at night in bed. I'm trying to get that in before the guilt hits because I'm thinking this character probably wouldn't have anything to do with me. And uh, like I made a vow years ago. I will never have a crush on a character again in a film because I feel guilt for like years to come. I feel like I'm a heel for liking this character. Oh, so like when I found Kate, I was like, oh, she's adorable. She's some unknown background character. I'm like, she's the only character that's married in the show. Oh god. I just felt so guilty. I'd like get that crush out of my head.
Cadence is adorable though. She's the princess of love.
Yeah.
She loves
Well, she got
everybody.
shining armor and she's happy. Oh, that's right. And she has a kid now.
She has a kid. You're right.
Uh, Ruby Rose or something, or
Ruby Rose. That's the one.
uh, but yeah. So, and in the future, if you want to just want to like watch me just animate, it can be really boring. I do a screen share and you'll see me just if it's like a fast scene, then you can see me do like 2, 3 scenes a day. Tomorrow's scenes will probably take quite a few hours. That'd be a little boring because I'm meant to like the cat's got to be holding the mouse, and then she's gonna be putting him down, and that's gonna be like you'll be spending like an hour watching to like put this over here. I'm like unwind, 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 unwind. Spending about an hour like okay, back to animation, and then they wind up. You'll see me do the dialogue, blah 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 blah. The cat la la blah blah blah, and doing the voice change switch, laying down the track, and then animating all the dialogue.
That sounds
To
amazing. That doesn't sound boring. That sounds like exactly what I'm looking to see.
but like I think every scene after that should be much easier. I don't think there's any more hard scenes. Uh, and like the average scenes, like it, it's just that one. Like when you got two characters holding each other, it can get kind of messy. You have to like take like your folder of the parts of Athena's here, the folder parts of another character's here, and you gotta take some of these parts, put in the Athena folder temporarily. And so now the layers in her folder are getting huge now because you're putting things, so it's not getting really huge. And the folder of him is getting even huger because you're putting parts of here. So now I get this gigantic panning of like parts and pieces all over the place. And when you move them, it might rename what they are so you forget what is
Oh
this part.
no.
So it could be. I'm hoping the Mac side will cure that, where it'll say Athena upper leg front. So hopefully when I drag it up there, it'll stay Athena upper. So I'll know that's not part of the Raptor or the whatever the character I'm doing. It's her. So when you unwind it, then you can like do not touch anymore, then you can put all the pieces back to where that they are again. That is probably the most boring thing that you would probably have me watch. Like I'll be like, hmm, let me scratch my butt some more here and try to figure this one out.
Heck yeah. Well, I could go ahead and, as I said, wrap things up here. We can have a little chit chat afterwards to wrap things up and just to get the audio recording done here. Before I do so,
Okay.
though, I would love it if you would be if you would like to plug anything that you're working on, anything for people to check out, like YouTube, that sort of thing, your projects, anything like that, so people can go.
I'm not really doing anything except for the stuff on YouTube. I'm taking a hiatus. It's kind of a force because there's no job to go to. But after from Space Jam and Animaniacs, I just got so burnt out. It's like the idea of working in a studio again. It's like you get that Pavlovian dog thing. It's like I just don't want to be kicked in the crotch anymore and just have to work on the weekends. And as soon as you get one enormous assignment done, you're handed something even bigger because they say you can do this, and eventually you're going to slip and fall. And I'm like, since playing is not that good, we gotta get his butt out of here. Um, so yeah, I'm taking a long like Spike, who did the animation directing of Space Jam, contacted me last week. It's like, oh, so could you help me out on this one show for like a month? I said, what's the job and title and when's it start? Like, well, it starts right now. Like, okay, I'll talk about that in a month. But what's the job? Like, it's kind of what we did in the Animaniacs show. They're doing, I forgot what the show is. I think it's the Wile E. Coyote Acme show or something, and they want us to go over all the drawings to make them look as 2D as possible. Like, it's like, oh, right now I'm trying to get this cartoon done of mine, and I'm taking kind of a long break because from Space Jam and Animaniacs, I'm so burnt out that I'm not looking forward to working hard, like from 8 in the morning till 2 in the morning on a Saturday and a Sunday, as well as on some project that it just kills you. It's like, okay, I understand. I said, but after my hiatus, when I'm ready to come out of my vacation, yeah, you can call me up then.
You
Like
heard it here
I,
first, folks. I said you heard it here first, folks. He's passing up on the Wile E. Coyote, the Acme show, so we could work on Athena some more.
yeah, like, I'm doing the Cat and the Mouse cartoon right now. I'm gonna finish that up. That kinda helps answer, like, a few questions. "How's the mouse gonna give the cat?" Like, "Oh, okay, let me do, like, a little." And I found, like, some cockamamie story that was going after some mythical thing. After that, I'll do something with Athena and Lustrous without me, because 'cause I'm trying to pull myself out of the show now because, like, she was introduced as a gag for my stupid, like, pot drinking adventures, like she's an innocent character. And so, like, and I've had people like, "You're inserting yourself," and this it's like, "Well, inserting? I'm the entire show. I'm doing all the voices. I'm doing all the characters." Like, I'm pulling myself out of the show, so it's just gonna be Athena and Celestris. We'll team up one last time when we go to Africa, where we'll team up with, oh, god, I forgot his name. He's the lion whisperer guy. So we're gonna team up with
Yeah,
him. It's gonna be very, Scooby-Doo, like when Scooby-Doo used to have, like, Phyllis Diller and Don Knotts, and they would, like, team up to, like, to capture something or to find something, and Lester's and Thea will be dressed up like gazelles. My character will have the, lion form. I'll be pouting that they don't like the white one. I wanna be the white one, like, you're not quite the heroic type. The brown's okay, it's a little more silly and stupid." So, like, I may readjust the brown one to be a little more cartoonier, closer to like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon character. Then we have to sneak into the compound where Kevin Richardson, I think his name is, the Lion Whisperer. I'll do some flash models of more realistic looking lions. So the cartoon lion stands like a sore thumbs, like, this ain't quite a lion. And Athena and Lester's will have the horns on to be like antelopes, and I'm a cute little gazelle.
that sounds awesome. I know I'll be looking forward to it. I'm sure everybody else will as well. And the cat and mouse thing, like the scenes you showed us, that looks awesome. So I can't wait to see more of that.
Oh yeah, like, those 2 are, uh it took me a day for each scene because I do the background. I'm bad at backgrounds, and, um, they had some technical stuff that had it's ki like when you move out of a walk cycle into a hole, you have to line up just right, get the rig on top where the walk cycle is, come out of it, stop, or like when the mouse is walking out of the cat's mouth after her tongue had turned into like a set of stairs. He had to come out and had to like just do the walk cycle going down. And then when it gets down, then it moves into the walk cycle really is nice and smooth so that you don't see that transition. Sometimes that can be a little tricky. I can get it working almost all the time, but every now and then it doesn't quite work. Like when the raptor and the ponies were jumping off the boat in the on Catalina, I kept that shot where looking through the that doorway long, intense, mainly because I tried to physically get them off the boat, and I was running into some technical problems. It didn't quite work. It didn't look good. So I thought, okay, well, let me do a different filming technique. I'm gonna just hang on the door like a tense thing. We're just seeing it. If they're already on there, we just see a thing, or I think it was Lustrous was jumping the boat. So if you see at least one character get off, that kind of fills in the whole blank of them getting off the boat because the Raptor wasn't working right. I would have thought the four-leggers would have had, but it was the Raptor did because like he's in front, so he had to land and take a few steps forward. I couldn't get it to work right with the puppet. I probably would have had to like traditionally animate it. And I was like, I don't have the time to do that to traditionally animate, traditionally hand paint it, and all that. So I thought, let me just hang on the door there. So every now and then, Flash will have like a limitation. I'm like, "Ugh, don't know how to get around that because I'm really that expert at Flash.
Fair, fair. And actually, do you mind if I bug you with one last question here before we give our send off? One last question, I promise.
Yeah.
So do you feel like it's easier to work with quadrupeds or bipeds, or is there any obstacle in that? Because I'm sure with animation, there's probably a difference in the two. I'm sure.
Yeah, bipeds are always, easier. You can do a full cartoon with all like, with the ponies. You always have to have, like, at least a shot or 2 of them walking or moving, just so the audience sees them. After that, you can do a lot of stuff by just but, like, fades and pans, like them talking about, "Hmm, like, you stay here, and I go out on the ghost hunt," and just do, like a scene swipe, and she's already on the move, as walking. I just use the same walk cycle that I used back in that, uh, first one. So you can get away with, like, not having them move around a lot by just doing some trickery and scene cuttings and stuff like, uh, paying attention to, like, someone just making a noise, "What?" And you don't see it happen, you just see their reaction, like smashing pots, "Gee, pop, pop, what the heck?" Then you cut to them already in the debris with a pot on their hand, a bowl of spaghetti, so you don't actually have to show it happening. So it's almost funnier just hearing the sounds, and then you see the result. Because sometimes if you do it, it may not be all that funny, so it's sometimes funny just hearing, like, wacky sound effects, and you cut and you see the result of it. But as far as, like, moving around, two-leg is always a, bit easier, for myself anyways. I don't know how other animators, feel about that, but for myself, working in Flash, hand-drawn, it doesn't make any difference. Like, if I'm doing, like, traditional animation, makes no difference because like it's so much labor and love just doing the drawings that it doesn't matter if it's two legs or four legs and the characters moving about. But Flash can be you gotta when you start your first Flash cartoon, you'll learn what's easy to do and what isn't easy to do, and you gotta kind of pick your battles. You don't want to make something too complex that it makes it so hard and laborious that you decide, "Ah, I can't finish this because you make it as fast as you can the best you can, but don't labor too much of it and don't let it go on too long, otherwise you'll lose interest and you'll put it on the side burners and sometimes you'll never get done.
Okay. Good advice. That's awesome. I know a lot of people that's been a conversation to the fandom. So to hear from somebody with a little bit more experience might be nice. Um,
Yeah, like if there's ever a time you have like how to actually do a cartoon, I can sit down and talk about I can
right.
talk about all that stuff, like talk about scenes you want to steer clear of, scenes you want to where you want your camera at, um, your pacing, your timing. Have fast moments, slow moments, and the same thing with the animation, like head turns or like snap, pop, slow. You want to keep everything kind of broken up a bit. If everything's the same timing, it's you're going to see it. So you want to break up the timing and movements on everything, and um, you just kind of give like a variety of things. Like at the virtual Pony Con, they showed me some films that fans made. They were just stunning and amazing. And they asked me for like advice, like, well, I can't give any. I mean, it looks great. I said, like, the only thing I can give, just is like just a film making stance. Um, it's like when you start doing a lot of pathos, like sad stuff. If the whole film is sad, making a tear, you're so hardened fans will love it, and average person will like, this is really sad. Is this the My Little Pony show? It's like this is really sad and depressing. Um, so like and pathos in Flash is what I'm talking about. Can be really hard because Flash is not really designed like unless you do like a side view. But if you do a slow thing in Flash, it's going to look mechanical. It's going to, and that can really kind of kill the scene. Like Flash is good at like doing like fast, zippy things, pop, bang, zips out, and all that anticipations. But doing that traditional thing, like you can't do like the front head going to the 3/4 head like all that well unless you build the model to do that. And sometimes it fails, and sometimes it works. Like someone showed me a scene of Fluttershy where the head was turning slowly as she's singing, or something. It's like it's amazing, but that scene must have been murder to do because you have to like would break apart all the elements and go from the 3/4 head, move as close as you can to the front, go to the front. Now take those parts and slide them as much as you can. So there's that one part, you see that little lich there, and boink, and the same thing. So a lot of people don't see it. People in the animation industry are like, I saw that. Yeah. It'd be better to actually do that traditionally or in CG. But if you want to do films on your own, scenes like that are real bare. You'll eventually just get disgruntled and like, "Yeah, let me change it to doing like a side view and like a slow head." But like, don't keep it too slow. If it's too slow, it looks mechanical. Um, I can do some demonstrations, I'll do like a nice slow scene, and I'll try to do like, and because there's only like so many eyelid things you can do, um, the eyelid is not gonna really, like, you just can't do that in Flash unless you traditionally animate the entire thing. At that point, you just, invalidated why you're even using Flash to begin with. Like, Flash is just meant to do things as fast as you can to get it out there, especially when you're a solo, filmmaker. But, yeah, but keep variation, timing, and speed. Um, don't be afraid to experiment with Flash. Like I'm still learning all the time, so someone can actually show me like, "Hey, I found a way to do like a slow scene." Like, really? I want to see. Like, ooh, that looks fantastic. Well, you just showed me something that I didn't know that could be done.
Heck yeah. Okay. Before we head off, I always give everybody an opportunity. What would you like to give any famous last words as we call them? Any last thing you'd like to say to the people, the pony people?
Well, like earlier that I was talking about, that my instructors that instructed me were the old timers Disney. Draw your passion in your heart. Don't let anyone insult you. Don't let anyone call you cringy because you're drawing your own personal pony character. Just send those people out of your life. In fact, if you do that, they may gain a little bit of life experience and realize they lose their friends, and they may change their tune and come back. They don't, you're not missing anything. So don't let anyone interfere with your personal fantasy. I've been living a personal fantasy all my life, and I'm a 6-year-old version for it. And look at me, drinking beer and smoking. But in fact, after this, I'm gonna have a beer in a moment here. But yeah, don't follow your passion, draw what you want, and don't give a hoot what anyone thinks.
Heck yeah. Well, I do want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart on behalf of Equestria Daily for sitting down with us tonight and chatting with us. It's been a pleasure. It really has
Uh,
been, Snatch fan. Um, for real though, and I encourage anybody who hasn't seen
and
any of that.
how dare you insult my fan name?
For anybody who hasn't seen any of your content, I highly encourage they go check that out. As always, we'll have another week. I hope, God, I hope so. we'll have another episode for you next week. Check that out. And yeah, until next
Oh,
time.
yeah, the cat and mouse will be 2 weeks maybe, like this week and then the week after that. Like, so hopefully it might go a little bit longer because, like, if something happens where, like, a house, like, I gotta fix the plumbing or something like that, that may slow me down. But I
Fix the
have no
plumbing.
interruptions, no one try to hire me, don't want any hires, and then I can get this one done. And after that one, immediately just start with Athena and the Lusters, their little adventure, or I might go into the big Africa one. I might just go into the big Africa one, and then at that point, Athena and Lusters will be in their own worlds then, because, like, people like it. Let's be a lot of people say, like, well, you don't like fact like that. You are showing your face in these things. Like, okay, okay, I'll pull myself out here. And so it'll be just Athena and Celestis, and they come to this world. It'll be on their own behoots to do such a thing.
Okay, awesome. I hope they come back and visit. It's a lot of fun having them around.
Well, in the world that I got is like they'll just be snookered and going in some stupid ghost hunt. But I
Um,
can't wait to the line where Luster's like, it informs the thing, you do realize he's not a wizard at all. What? He's just a drunken idiot. He's been yanking your chain all this time. Like, he can't be have done that. And that's why I invented the cat. So the cat will have been all the magic powers of, like, doing the pork. The whole first film was just a stupid, like, goof thing that it was gonna get like a couple laughs and that was it. Now it's like, oh gosh, I can invent the whole lore now, the three kingdoms, and now I gotta write myself out the whole thing and all that. So if I do cartoons, it could be in the three kingdoms, and but that'd be a little more serious though. It's like,
it doesn't have to be that serious.
yeah, well, like after I just said like warring factions and stuff, it's like that's me really serious. I can be dramatic, like dramatic light sources and tense feelings and fear, but Flash may not be the perfect tool to do that. Like, it would be, like, lots of creepy things and, like, um, I think I could do it, but to give that, like, the real sense of, like, tenseness and drama and, like, something bad's gonna happen, Flash might be not the tool for I don't know. I'll have to do some, like, test things. But once again, I don't know a whole lot about stuff in Flash. Like, the few things I've tried to do outside of what I do is, like, didn't really work right. It's like, can't get that to work right. So I had to talk to, like, some actual Flash animators, like, "How would you do this scene here?" I'm like, "Can you do this scene here?" Like, and they'll tell her, here, I'll show you." Or like, "Man, you wanna steer clear of that." So I just have to get some, like, just
Yeah,
talk to someone.
some flash consulting, understandable. Um, well, until next time, y'all. Hopefully, we have a chance to show some more content. And if you haven't already joined the Discord, we're going to be showing off some more content here soon. So we'd love to have you. But thank you very much for joining, and have a great rest of your week. And once again, thank you very much, Satch, for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Alright, and you'll have a wonderful weekend, and grab yourself a margarita, and let's go out ghost hunting. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
I'll hard cut it there. It's over.
Hard
It's
cut,
done forever.
cut.
Yeah, we're just
Now
never.
we can talk man talk, spit, chew tobacco, swear, curse,